via Zoom, as well as folks who are appearing in the courtroom. As the formal proceeding, the normal rules apply pre-pandemic or post-pandemic. You're not supposed to be driving. I never knew that to be a pre-pandemic rule, but post-pandemic, you're not supposed to be driving. You're not supposed to be working. You're not supposed to be grocery shopping. You're required to be seated in front of your computer or phone device. Be prepared for court in appropriate time. If you are a defendant charged with one or more criminal misdemeanor offenses, whether you appear via Zoom or whether you are here in person, please remember your rights. The first one is your right to remain silent about the facts of your case. If you choose to speak about your facts of case in open court, whether it's in the courtroom or whether it's via Zoom, please remember that we do have prosecutors, or as well as me, and anything you choose to say can and will be used against you. So highly recommend that you do not say anything until you confer with your attorney. You have the right to an attorney. You cannot afford one. You can apply with the public defender's office to see if you qualify, because you are entitled to a defense counsel if you are unable to afford one. If you do not qualify for the public defender's office, then you can choose to waive the right to counsel and represent yourself, keeping in mind that you are responsible for understanding how the law applies to the facts of your case. So if you choose to represent yourself, you're responsible for any legal decision you make based upon your own research and knowledge of the law. You can also retain private counsel, and in so doing, please make sure that your attorney files an entry of appearance, that is, a formal notice of court that he or she is representing you. That way, we will be able to know with whom we need to communicate and to whom notices need to be sent. So as I said, I have several calendars to this morning. So please be patient as I try to reach everyone. I have a final, the Orca A final fee calendar. Ms. Monica Redden is the litigation manager. I have Latoya, Winslow.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney
Morning,
Gaddafi.
Yes, Mr. Duffy.
I'm here in person. I know that we had several conflicts.
Oh, it's best if you come to the podium because you're not in front of a microphone. Sorry. Because of the hybrid nature, we need to make sure that you're heard by the panelists.
And I know that we had several cases that were conflicted out. I apologize to the court. Ms. Winslow is present in court. The state has made several, we have been in discussion also about the evidence and possible pleas. At this point in time, the status of the case is Ms. Winslow tells me to remain in trial status. She does want a trial. She does not want to accept the state's offer. However, she is not prepared to move forward with me as counsel at that trial. As a result, we would ask it to be set.
Yes, Ms. Winslow, Mr. Winslow, you need to come and stand next to your attorney. So let me go ahead and pull up her case first, just so that I can understand the time frame.
And my understanding is this is quite an old case. It was caught in the COVID time period.
All cases caught during the COVID time period are old cases. So I don't know what else to tell you, except that we try not to count those 2 years in. Now let's try this now. Sorry. So I'm assuming there's already a new attorney on deck?
If
No? Okay, that's not looking good then. Who's the prosecutor in this case?
Good morning, Your Honor. Michelle McCutcheon for the state. I'll be handling the case today.
Oh, all right, so not Miss Falk?
I,
Oh, Miss Waldrop, sorry.
yes, it's both Ms. McCutcheon and myself. but yes.
Okay. All
Yes,
right,
Judge, we're giving you all kinds of assistance on behalf of the state today.
I truly appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so we have State versus Latoya Winslow, accused of DUI under the influence of alcohol, less safe, DUI per se, reckless driving and possession of marijuana less than 1 ounce from July 2018. This case was clearly pre-pandemic, accused March 9th, 2020. An entry of appearance was filed in October of 2021. By you, Mr. Ghazi. You dated it October 5th.
Yes, Your Honor.
So October 2021, the courts had already reopened. We were moving forward. We've had discovery. We've had and this case has now been reset for a final plea since 2020. I'm not taking any more delays. If y'all needed a trial, you should have asked for it back then. I could have put it on a jury trial or a bench trial calendar. What's the reason for the delay?
The state, well, there were several conflicts a part of my office, but we were still trying to negotiate out and negotiate a deal with the state. The state at one point recently also asked for continuance in order for us to get some information to them.
So let me just figure out what is the conflict in the offer, because I'm here for.
Not a
I'm
conflict
here-
in the offer.
There's
Not
no
a-
conflict in
There
the.
are conflicts on, as far as me being in court for
Okay,
the
so what's the
schedule.
dispute about the?
Well, the offer right now is to a less safe DUI. Ms. Winslow has work considerations and does not want to accept that plea offer and the consequences that that will entail with her employment and her licensure and her license. She's a nurse. We had talked to the state recently, within a few months this spring, whether that would make a difference. The state has finally said, as my understanding of where we are now, that no, we cannot reduce this DUI.
All right,
At that point, Ms. Winslow has finally said that she is willing to go to trial on the case. So those are the circumstances, Your Honor.
all right.
And she has not paid me a trial fee and does not want to move forward a trial with me at this point. So we're not asking for another 6 months. We're just asking for a reasonable time for Ms. Winslow to move forward on trial.
What's the plea offer, Ms. McCutcheon?
Yes, Judge, the plea offer was the standard offer for a first-time DUI. Specifically, the offer was 12 months to serve 24 hours, credit for time served, which was 24 hours, balance probated, a $300 fine, 40 hours of community service, alcohol, drug evaluation and treatment as determined appropriate, and the risk reduction program, no cost to remaining charges. And that offer was sent to defense counsel on February the 6th of this year and followed up by Ms. Githea on February the 23rd. That is your standard first-time DUI statutory required plea offer.
Right.
And Your Honor, the case was still in negotiation, however, and that was not an absolute firm offer. That was an initial offer that's still been maintained.
Understood. Ms. McCutcheon, does the state have any objection to a bench trial?
Your Honor, based on the age of this case, no, we would not be opposed. If the defendant is affirmatively waiving her right pursuant to
I need
yes.
to find out.
Yes.
Ms. Winslow, since you do not want to consider this or you're declining the offer, do you have any objection to a bench trial?
I would like to understand the offer. The offer is just a reduction to a DU, it's still a DUI.
Listen very carefully. I'm sure your attorney has explained to you, but I'm only going to explain to you one time. The offer is to plead guilty to DUI less safe with no jail time. You'll be on probation to pay a $300 fine, do 40 hours of voluntary community service hours, and submit yourself to an alcohol and drug evaluation. And if the evaluator believes that treatment might be required, you would have to undertake it. Otherwise, the evaluation suffices. And you will, if you completed the fine and the 40 hours of community service and the evaluation, I will place you on non-reporting probation. All right. So next question is, we'll go to trial. Do you have any objection to a bench trial?
No.
A bench trial is where the case is tried before the judge, not a jury. Do you have any objection?
No.
Mr. Ghazi, I'm not permitting you to withdraw from the case.
Your Honor.
Listen very carefully. The case is going to be scheduled for a bench trial. May I have a date for the bench trial? Trial scheduled for April 21st.
Your Honor, I would object to a bench trial.
Yeah. Okay. On the grounds?
That I'd rather have a jury trial.
Well, your client wants a bench trial.
She probably doesn't know the difference or the
All right.
significance.
Why don't you all step outside and talk about it? And if it's a bench trial, we can put on a bench trial, jury trial as well. Okay. Alex, okay, we're going to Orca E status calendar now. Alexander, ready, Mr. Allen? This is case number 20 CR 005-608E, Alexander State versus Alexander Hill. Violation of a protective or restraining order. Mr. Hill is present with his counsel, Joshua Schiffer.
Thank you, Judge.
For a long time. And who is the prosecutor for this case?
Your Honor, that is going to be Deputy Otto Ekpo. I'm getting in touch with her right now. She's on her way down.
Deputy who?
Ekpo with our office.
Deputy,
Otto Ekpo, Your Honor. This is ASG Riley.
okay. This is with the sheriff's department or
Your
prosecutor?
Honor, she's a prosecutor with us.
Okay,
She'll handle the motion.
so ASG Deputy Alto Echo. So I guess we're waiting on prosecutor to appear in person. So I'll call your calendar as soon as prosecutor Alto Echo is present.
Do we happen to have a time announcement? I just have other things on a schedule today.
Do we have an ETA on her
She's
arrival?
coming right now. She's on her way down.
There we go.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Judge.
Step outside and have a powwow with her.
Exactly what I'm gonna do.
All right, Ms. Allen will be on a pause on this one as well. Thank
Your
you.
Honor, I would just like to mention that this is a plea and bar that has been filed. It is a motion. And that is why the court reporter is present this morning as well. So it's,
Understood. Thank you.
you're welcome.
I see Mr. Spisman, and which calendar is he on?
Hi, Judge. Good morning.
Good morning. Were you on the final plea calendar?
Judge, I am on the final plea calendar for Miss
Yeah.
well, it's Miss
Lindia
Pittman
Pittman
Powers.
Powers. Pittman Powers, are you present?
She should be,
cannot-
Judge.
Oh, okay. All right, Miss Pittman Powers, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Justin Spisman. You're required to be here in person in order to take a plea today. Mr. Spisman?
Judge, we've never indicated we were planning on accepting the state's offer. We're missing discovery in the case, Your Honor. I don't know if there was checked that there was a video. I don't know if there is or there is not. The second set of discovery said there was no video, so I'm at a bit of a loss. There should be a body cam from City of Atlanta, unless it was potentially destroyed. So we're missing that, Judge, and we do have pending motions that we'd like to be heard on. And so our announcement is discovery and motions.
All right. Orca C, Orca A, Orca E. What's the reset date for the motions calendar? Who's the prosecutor in this case? Ms. Riley or somebody else? Ms.
Your Honor,
Walker?
I'm filling in for Mr. Diaz today. Is that
Okay.
position number 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
April 21st, okay.
April 21st, Judge, at what time?
I think it was 9 a.m. 9 a.m.
Judge, and if I could just inquire of the state, do they have a video or is there not a video?
I can look into whether or not there's a video.
Okay,
Your Honor, if I may, the supplemental discovery was provided on February 22nd. That said a video was shared with Mr. Spiesman at that time.
I've never
Sure.
received it, Judge, and if they have, I'd appreciate them just resending it. That'd be great.
If
It's
there's
just-
any documentary evidence have you gotten all the documents and so forth?
Yes, Judge, I received the paper evidence in the case. And if there's 2 certificates that have been filed, one with a video, one without a video, and so.
And is the video available any other means, like from evidence.com or anything to that effect?
That's how it was shared
Okay.
with Attorney Spiesman.
So Mr. Spiesman, they do not send you the actual video. You would have to access it from wherever the third party holder is. So as far as I'm concerned, the defense can go ahead and get the video on their own if they know where it's being held.
It would be the evidence.com.
Hang on. And I was under the impression this case was scheduled for a final plea, and if there's video, the way I understand it is that video information does not necessarily have to be produced during the course of trial discovery unless there's exculpatory information in there. So presently, I expected everyone to be ready for a trial or for a plea, and that's what I was under the impression. So this case is going to be set on a motions calendar. I expect Ms. Pittman Powers to be in court in person. I expect you, Mr. Spiesman, to be in court in person just as much as I expect the prosecution and their witnesses and so forth to be available in court in person. And that will be April 21st at 9 a.m. And this is going to be on the motions calendar. Anything else, Mr. Okay, Justin, is it Spiesman or Spiesman? Your name has been
Spiesman, Judge. Long I.
There
Thank
we
you
go.
for asking.
All right. Mr. Spiesman, so we set for motions then?
Thank you, Judge, and I'll get with the state as to whether there's a video or not.
All right. Ms. Pittman Powers, your attorney wants to argue certain evidentiary issues in your case. The case is going to be rescheduled for April 21st at 9 a.m. You and your attorney must be in this courtroom in person along with the prosecution.
Thank you,
Any
Judge.
questions?
Thank you, Your Honor. Can we please be excused? Ms. Pittman Bowers, we can talk. You can call me with any questions you have, okay?
I just wanted to know if you had any scheduling questions.
No, I do not, but I do have a question about my name. That's not my name.
Your name is not Lindia Pittman Powers?
No, it's not.
All right, what is the correct name?
The Powers is dropped is Smith.
The Powers is dropped, so it used to be Powers?
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's what? Now,
Smith, Pittman Smith.
so is Lindia spelled correctly with 2 N's?
That is correct.
Lindia Pittman dash, is it hyphenated? Dash?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Return to.
Yes, give me 1 second. Ms. Bolton, we need the now known as, or also known as the Lindia Pittman Smith. All right, great.
And Your Honor, just for the record, of course, the state's accusation will not change because that is the name that the defendant used at the time she was charged. So the state's accusation will not change to Pittman-Smith.
I
We waived.
understand
Yeah.
that. We're just putting an also known as.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Ghazi, yes.
Ms. Winslow would like a jury trial, Your Honor.
Okay, so this case is going to be further notice for a Orca jury trial. And we are going to, oh. Here it is. Where did I just put that? This case is going to be not further reset because new counsel got involved. So you would need to make sure that you hire a new attorney like ASAP so that Mr. Ghazi can then withdraw. Right now, he's not allowed to withdraw. until you've got a new counsel, and then you can file your request to withdraw.
Very good, Your Honor.
And you
And
can,
I may well stay in the case.
beg pardon?
I may well stay in the case. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah. Hope so. We're going to generate a case management order today. And that will dictate the scheduling order. That will be a scheduling order for the trial. And it will be held on Orca jury trial calendar, which will be, we don't have dates for that right now, but we do schedule them every month.
And is there any general idea of when the first might be?
Nope,
Okay,
not at all.
all right.
We've been scheduling about 25 to 50 cases a month, and a lot of them plead out or get dismissed or get resolved. So they are coming fast and furious. So that's why I'm saying if you plan to get a new attorney, get one as soon as possible. All right. Okay, thank you. This is going to be further notice for a jury trial. All right, thank you.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, Mr. Gazi?
Good, thank you.
She needs to fill out some paperwork, so you might want to stay for that. Okay. Moving on to, do I have any private attorneys in the courtroom? Okay,
Simmons for Keila Harris is number 4.
on the, would you, do you know what kind of calendar? Final, please, okay?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. All right, Ms. Simmons, and you
Yes.
represent Keila Harris. Keila Harris is here?
No, Your Honor, she's not present. I did let the court know. I got a message probably within an hour before court saying that Ms. Harris is ill. Her partner then called me and said that they're trying to figure out if it's COVID symptoms or something else, and they may be going to the hospital. So, Your Honor, I am asking if we can possibly get a continuance. I did receive the offer from Ms. Riley. I expressed that offer with my client, and I am not sure at this point if she wants to do that or continue forward with a possible trial. However, she is not in here this morning. She has always appeared for court. So I do believe that she is ill as her partner and the messages say.
Okay. I'm not resetting it for a final plea. We're going to reset it for trial. Case management order has already been issued in this case. It was issued on January 6, 2023. So we're going to place it on the trial calendar. And so were you present when, in January of, yeah, you were representing?
Yes, Your Honor, we were present by Zoom throughout the process. This is my first time in court.
Okay. Well, actually in person, you mean?
I mean, in person in court. Yes, ma'am.
So the case management order was filed on January 6th. All motions had to be filed within 10 days by January 16th. So if none are filed, that's gone. The state shall comply with all the requirements with regards to discovery and so forth. I'm presuming that's done. All right, the case is going to be scheduled for a trial. Do you want a jury trial or a bench trial?
Jury.
Case is further notice for a jury trial. The case management order has already been issued, and all parties are required to be on a 2-hour call for the duration of the trial calendar. So we will see y'all at trial.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you.
Have a great day.
You too. Okay, any other private attorneys in the courtroom? Yes, good morning.
I'm Mr. Fitzpatrick. And Your Honor, I apologize. I don't have the position number. I haven't seen a copy of the calendar, but the case I believe is on final plea. This is Mr. Larry Fitzpatrick.
Give me the name again.
Larry Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick. I've got so many calendars. C final plea. Okay. 4. Got it. Thank you. Thank you. Leslie. All right, and are we moving forward with a plea or a different story?
A different story. So this was reset for video evidence. There's a outstanding dash cam that's referenced in the discovery I have not obtained yet. I'm happy to pre-trial the case today with the solicitor to see if we can come up with a resolution.
Why hasn't been obtained yet?
That I'm not
You
sure.
knew it exists.
I know it exists. I don't think the state has it yet.
Does the state need to get it, then give it to you, or everybody gets access to it from evidence.com?
In order for the defense to access it from evidence.com, it has to be shared with us. And at the last court date, it was my understanding that the state
For
had not.
video?
Yeah, yes. We can't just sign in and obtain videos. We have to actually get a specific link for the case.
All right, who's the prosecutor in this case?
Your Honor, that would be my case. I was not aware of this, as was previously with Ms. Marshall's story. So I was not aware that there was any outstanding discovery issues, but I will certainly take a look and get that to Ms. Is it Agramonte?
It is.
Okay.
And Judge, if you'd like, you could potentially put this down on a motions day and we could see if between now and motions, if we can get the video. It's the stopping officer, I believe, with Milton. That was the first officer, right? Milton, the Milton police video, we have not received. And I can reach out to Ms. Riley now that I know that she's on the case for plea negotiations. I think the case has been bounced around a little bit between prosecuting attorneys.
Well, not only bounced around, but I'm looking at the 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves of absences filed by your firm in just 2022 alone. Could never pin down counsel of record. So, and then finally on January 13th of this year, we got it reset for a final plea.
I think some of those were amended and I was on maternity leave for some of 2022.
Okay.
And Your Honor, it does have checked for initial discovery that a video was shared via evidence.com. So if Ms. Agramonte never received a link, I will resend that.
So we have the Alpharetta video. This case involves 2 different jurisdictions. Milton police stopped my client and then Alpharetta came to the scene. And so we've had the video from Alpharetta, but the relevant video we would need is the stopping video. It is referenced in the incident report, the Milton incident report. And I have made this announcement the past several court dates that we're looking for this very specific video.
So you knew the video exists from 2 jurisdictions. And the state has shared, you've got the Alpharetta video, which you obtained from whom?
From the state.
From the state. And the other jurisdiction is Atlanta?
Is Milton.
It's Milton. And what is the state supposed to do so you can have access to it?
Either share it with me via evidence.com or
the actual video or a link, or what are we talking about?
Either. The link would be fine. If they want to make it available for pickup, I can stop by their office. The last I checked, Ms. Marshall's story, I think, had said she herself had not received it from Milton yet. She was doing a request to Milton to get it.
Once and for all, can the state please explain to me, how does the state share video evidence, digital evidence with the defense? Well, first of all, let's go to question part 1A.
Okay.
Does the state require to get the actual video in its entirety and then share that with the defense? Or do you send them a link? Or do you let them know that one exists so that the defense has to then undertake the steps to get it?
So,
and number 2, part 1B then is, why has it not been delivered?
So, Your Honor, it's a little more than that. Our investigative team has to reach out to the individual police agencies to ask them to place the videos that are either on disc or, from their dash cams into evidence.com. Those individual agencies then send the record number or however it is capsulized in evidence.com to our office. Our investigators then have to upload those links to give us access. We then have to go in and share that link. Once we access the video, share that link with defense counsel.
And so that link gets them access to the whole video, or correct, the link gets them just to the right to purchase a video? Or get it? What,
I am not sure on the defense
Oh,
end if they have to purchase. I know they have to have an account, but I don't know if there's a cost involved for them to have an account. But it will give them access to the entire video. They will be able to see whatever it is that we can see.
all right.
in the
And
state.
in this case, do you have the Alpharetta video on evidence.com?
It's the Milton video.
Oh, sorry, no. You've already got the Alpharetta video, right?
Yes.
And how, you got it on your own or you got it through
Got
evidence?
it through evidence.com, sent from the prosecutor.
All right. So y'all were able to share the Alpharetta video.
Yes.
So,
This,
but you don't know if there's a Milton video?
correct, because the prior communications Ms. Agramonte has been with Ms. Marshall Story. I don't have any indication that we were looking into a Milton video. So would just have to do that all over again, is what I'm saying this morning.
And Ms. Agramonte, when was your last communication and with whom at the solicitor's office?
I sent an email this week and last week, I believe. I could double check my phone. It was not to Ms. Marshall's Story because I had actually called the main line at the solicitor's office and they gave me another person's name. I can look at my phone. I don't remember who it was. So I had sent her an email just saying, we're still waiting on that Milton video and I was making an offer to resolve the case hopefully by today,
Okay,
but I never heard back.
well, they don't have a Milton video. This case has been out there. The last time this case was addressed was January 13th. You've known that you don't have the Milton video, I'm assuming since January 13th.
Right,
But
and
you sent your video in the last couple of weeks of February.
I have followed up with the state numerous times since our last court date to avoid this conversation, just so I could come up here and either say, I have the video, let's enter a plea, or I have the video, let's put this case on a trial calendar. So I've done my due diligence as far as trying to obtain it. It
Since
exists
January.
since January, yes.
So you've been communicating with Ms. Marshall Story, then you were communicating with someone you don't know yet. Can't remember.
That's right. But my communication has gone unanswered since January 13th.
And that is the reason, and for no other reason, that I put these prosecutors on notice that if you want these cases to be moving along, there has to be a two-way communication. So Ms. Riley, I do understand you stepped in at the last minute because this wasn't your case. But there's got to be some accountability from as the prosecutor's office to get this discovery moving and these cases moving. Otherwise, we are on a stop, go, and these cases are languishing on these calendars.
Your Honor,
No, that is not only the onus is not only on the prosecutor. I'm also going to say the onus is on defense counsel. They can take the position that they've done their due diligence. But if you're not getting any response at some juncture, then you come to court and you say, I don't have the evidence, I want to go to trial. So at the present time, you have the opportunity right now to step outside and talk with prosecution on Zoom or call them up or try to reach out to the person you're emailing to see whether you want to resolve the case today. But I'm putting this case on trial. And this is going to be, now, do you want a jury trial or a bench trial?
It would be a jury, Judge.
All right. So we're going to issue a case management order today. This case is going on a jury trial calendar. And I'm sure if the state has its video evidence or audio evidence and whatnot, they can produce it at trial. If it's exculpatory, then you clearly have an issue that you can raise. If it's not, we're going to move forward, whether you get it at that time or not. All right. Okay. Anything else, Ms. Agramonte?
Nothing further on this case. I do have one more.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Fitzpatrick, your case is scheduled for trial. Please be sure that you and your clients you and your attorney are ready. Who's your next case?
And Ms. Riley, I'll reach out to you on that case as well.
thank you.
My next case is Christopher Chavez. I believe he's also on the final plea calendar and he's appearing via Zoom. He lives out of state. I do see him present. Thank you.
On the same calendar.
Yes, Your Honor, this is position
Do we need an
2.
interpreter, please?
No, I do not believe so.
Mr. Chavez, you are required to be in court in person.
He had gotten he was given permission to appear via Zoom from your office, I believe.
Did I dispense with that? Ms. Bolton? And how are we moving forward?
Discovery was received this morning. We're waiting on a video. We feel comfortable putting it on a motions calendar. A discovery and an offer was served this morning.
Is it April 21st? Okay.
Is that a 9 o'clock calendar? Thank you so much. Okay.
May 19th, 9 a.m. Mr. Chavez, get your plane ticket. You need to be in court in person.
Yes, Your
No more Zoom.
And Your Honor, if I may just perfect the record, discovery has been filed since April of 2021. So I'm not sure if Mr. Smith's office just received it to this morning, but the last time it was on the calendar, I was conversating with Attorney Donalick, and I let her know at that time that no video exists for this.
Okay, so it was filed, the discovery, if you look online at the Odyssey, you can see that discovery was filed. You actually can't access it though. You can see it was filed, but you can't purchase the document. So at the last court date, they said it was filed. We tried everything we could to obtain it from the internet, but it was not working. So we've received it via email today along with the offer. I did not know that there was no video. That's okay. We're still okay to put it on the motions calendar. But if you go to the clerk's website, you can see there's no way to actually download the document.
And Judge, if I
What
may.
document were you waiting to download? I said, okay, I'm looking at it right here. I'm looking at the accusation, the incident.
And the witness
report,
list.
the incident report.
We were only able to get the accusation in the witness list.
Did you all come down to the courthouse and see how else to get it?
No, we have not, but we have it now. We've received everything this morning.
And Judge, if I may, Oto Ekpo on behalf of the state, this does sometimes happen with the clerk's office, and had defense attorney reached out, we would have told them just to contact the clerk's office. They can make a 2-second change that all access would have been given. Sometimes there's just a glitch in their system, but I have seen that happen before.
All right, May 19th, motions calendar. Unfortunately, covering glitches wasn't covered in law school, so I have no clue how to resolve this. Motions calendar, May 19th. Make sure you and your attorney are in the courtroom in person along with opposing counsel. And this case is going to be, do you all want a jury trial or bench trial?
Jury trial.
Jury trial. Case management order is going to issue today. This case is going to be scheduled for a jury trial, position number 2. All right, thank you.
That's all I have. May I be excused?
Yes, Ms. Alonte, you have a great morning. Thank you. Mr. Schaefer and Ms. Alto, I heard Ms. Alto's right there. Okay.
She's here, Judge. Yes, Judge, we're just gonna ask.
One second. All right, Ms. Alonte, we done?
Yes,
I'm sorry. That's the only microphone we have for folks. And then we're going back to Mr. Schaefer's case.
Yes, Judge, the Hill case, I've had a very productive discussion with the state. We're gonna try to solve our own problems together. And we would ask that this case be reset for not this coming Friday, but a Friday 2 weeks from now. If we haven't gotten a disposition, we can hear things then, but hopefully we're gonna get this resolved.
Let me check my social punch card to see just.
Thank you, Judge. And while you're doing that, I spoke, and I guess Miss Marshall's story is very difficult to find.
She's no longer with the prosecutor's office, I mean, the ASG, the Solicitor General's office, so, I'm sure they have another attorney covering the case.
We're good with that. I'm trying to get in touch with her based on our prior discussions. And I was going to ask Miss Riley, do you happen to have any contact information for her?
Other than her county email, which is still active, I do not.
Do you know where she's working now?
I'm not aware. I do not know.
Okay, so, Ms. Bolton, this is your. Oh, Ms. Younger, 17th or the 24th, which one? 24th, okay. We can do an add-on on the, what are we putting it on? A status of final plea?
It would be to hear this motion, but hopefully that's not going to need to happen because we're going to get this resolved.
We'll then put it on a status calendar at 1:30.
1:30 on the 24th.
Mhm.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. That concludes our business today. May we please be excused?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge Oto Ekpo, on behalf of the state. That's all of the business that I have. May be excused.
Yes,
Or
thank
unless Ms.
you.
Waldrop wants me to stay and help. Okay, all right.
Ms. Waldrop is going to stay here and need stalwart support.
She said she's got it. You're welcome.
All right, Mr. Chavez, you're free to go. Go reach out to speak to your attorney, Ms. Agramonte. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mhm. Orca C, and I know I'm going all over the place in this one, but I trying to address all the cases in which private counsel are present. Private counsel? No, okay. We have interpreter Carlos. Good morning, sir. How are you? Which case do you have?
Good morning.
Mr. Melgar, Portillo.
Whose client is that?
Judge, good morning.
Oh, Mr. Haddad. Good morning, sir.
Your Honor, I filed an entry yesterday on this particular defendant. My understanding, I'm sorry, Judge.
I'm just trying to get our interpreter to the microphone. And is this particular in Melgar, what position number is that? Portillo Melgar,
Your Honor,
Carlos,
he is in the Orca C final plea,
got it.
position number 9.
Okay, and is Mr. Portillo Melgar present?
Judge, he's not, but he's available. I tried to get them on the Zoom. He himself nor his wife are able to download the app. Now, I was able to see them and talk to them through the WhatsApp app. They're available by phone. So that's why I came down. I actually emailed you. I was trying in our office, trying to help them download it, but they're just not that.
Okay. Mr. Haddad, you just filed an entry of appearance?
Yes, Judge. Judge, just brief background. I mean, my understanding, and I've not talked to my client. I've not met with him. I was given, background information on the case, and he just needed help, and that's why I got involved. Other than the language issue, Judge, ultimately, I think my client has what I would describe chronic degenerative disease, Parkinson's. He's got a lot of health issues. But, I had one of my attorneys, Javier Trejo, reach out and spoke to the wife a few days ago and tried to see maybe we can get him on Zoom. At this point, I don't know what to do on the case other than if he's not present, I can ask for a reset, but
this is what we're going to do. We're going to reset it to this next status calendar. And this is Orca C. May 5th. Really? Carlos, you cannot forget that date, right? May 5th,
No, Judge, I was just waiting to hear it.
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
1:30.
Internet.
1:30 PM. Mr. Haddad, if you believe that there are medical issues with your client, it would be very prudent for your office to communicate with them and to try to get as much information that you can share with the prosecutor. Who's the prosecutor with whom Mr. Haddad will be discussing the case from now onwards?
That would be ASG Riley, but I would just for the record note that Mr. Porta Melgar did fail to appear on January 13th as well. So.
Noted, totally noted. I understand. That's why I'm doing this as a final reset for him to appear. Now, until that happens, Carlos, I'm so sorry, but you're gonna have to communicate with them that they have to come down to the courthouse.
Judge,
For May 5th.
Well, I guess, and I had talked to Ms. Bolton, talked to Solicitor Sarita
Githia.
I shared with her some medical information that they texted me, put it on email format, and provided that to her. And Mr. Haddad said somebody did talk to them.
Understood.
They don't drive. This is an elderly couple with a lot of problems. If we could provide them,
That's not possible.
bringing them over or something, that would make it easier.
Carlos, that's not possible.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we've been trying for the
You
past.
just need to let them know that they must be in the courtroom on May 5th at 1:30 PM.
Okay.
And Mr. Haddad, as their attorney, I don't know what accommodation your office can
I'll-
make to get
what I-
them over.
If I may ask the interpreter if he can get the address, I'm gonna actually go out up there. I think they live in Gwinnett. It might be frankly just easier for me to just drive up with another attorney who speaks Spanish, and I'll do everything I can. But I understand if he does not report May 5th, a bench warrant will be issued, Judge, and I'll attend to everything that needs to be attended to.
Understood. But in the meantime, like I said, if you can get medical information that they're willing to divulge and share with the prosecutor, and if that would resolve the case or consider an alternative plea, I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. All I know is I cannot let this case drag on any longer. I need it either to be addressed via Zoom or in person.
No problem, Judge. And of course, Ms. Riley and I, we get along fairly well. So I'll
Yes,
reach out to her and I'll take care of whatever needs to be taken care of.
But
All right,
Attorney
thank you
Haddad,
so
I just want to reiterate, this is Ms. Givia's case.
Well,
So you want him to talk to Ms. Githia?
Yes,
All right.
please.
Ms.
No worries,
Githia.
Judge.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Have a good morning. Miss Allen, thank you so much. Have a good one. Okay. Any other private attorneys or interpreter cases that I have to address? Mr. Wang, is your attorney present?
Yes,
Tom
Judge.
Rouse?
Yes,
Okay.
Judge, I'm here. I'm on Zoom. I didn't know if you were just looking for attorneys in the courtroom or.
Oh,
or
no.
otherwise.
When I address everyone is both
Okay.
ways. So,
All right.
Mr. Rousey, and your client is Mr. Wang, who's on the final plea calendar.
Yes, Judge. And Miss Githia provided us with the videos earlier this week. She made us a very reasonable offer. I have responded to that in hopes of tweaking it, but I understand she is not available today.
Well, Miss Riley is covering for her, so.
Okay, so maybe we could talk.
Okay, so you want to talk to Miss Riley? Okay, so Mr.
that'd be great.
Rousey will be in a breakout with Miss Riley. Okay. Orca C status calendar, Orca C as in chocolate. Nakisha Barty. This is the Orca C status calendar.
Your Honor, it's my understanding, and I believe PD Haddad may have stepped away, but this was previously PD Gant's case, and this has been waiting on the results of a mental health evaluation for many calendars. So,
Mr. Gaither, Ms. Helen, are you familiar with this case?
We are not, Judge. I'm just gonna check my email, see if there's any notes of it, but AHD Riley is correct. These were previous PD Gantz cases, so I'm just gonna check to see where they are, if I have any notes.
Mr. Haddad will be able to
Okay.
shed some light on who the
So,
case was sent. Yeah.
As soon as Mr. Haddad reappears, we're gonna get information on that. Alonte Waters, Alonte Waters says, yeah. Mr. Haddad, are you present?
Taking this is Tom Ford, Your Honor. You still taking calls for private counsel?
Yeah, you're next on deck. Alonte Waters, position number 2 on the Orca C status calendar, that's been rescheduled to an SAP calendar on March 7th, which is next week.
Yes, Your Honor, next Tuesday.
Okay, so I'm just waiting on Mr. Haddad. Mr. Ford, who's your client?
Mr. Ali.
I'm sorry,
Aziel.
Mr. Ford, your Wi-Fi is going in and out.
Mr. Fadiel Ali is in court, Your Honor.
Mr. Ali, all right, come across, please.
This is on the Orca C final plea calendar, position 1, but I do not show counsel listed.
Tom Ford. All right. Mr. Ford, is your client ready to take a plea today?
He is not, Your Honor. I have just recently been retained and filed an entry. I would anticipate it would be in a position to play upon the next calendar. I not need to discover, but I'm simply needed a conversation with the state, and then we can be ready to proceed respectfully.
Okay. I'm not rescheduling it for a final plea. I'm going to reschedule it for trial. Was your client like a bench or jury trial?
I would probably with a jury trial calendar respectfully.
Okay. Mr. Ali, we are rescheduling this for a jury trial. Is that how you'd like to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm going to issue a case management order today. The case is going to be rescheduled for a jury trial. All parties are required to be on a 2-hour call to be prepared to go to trial during the term of the jury trial calendar. All right. Anything else, Mr. Ford?
Your Honor,
Oh, lost his connection. Okay.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Ali, if you'd like to have a seat, we lost your attorney's connection. So as soon as he comes back. All right, Ms. Rockwell, who do you represent?
Mr. Ford is back.
Mr. Ford, hello, you're on mute. Oh, I can't hear you, sir. You're on mute. Please unmute your Zoom.
yes, Your Honor. Is Ms. Guthrie still? Is she back with us? She's not.
Ms. Githia is not at the Zoom today. She is, Ms. Riley is covering her cases.
Your Honor, I apologize. This is not Ms. Givia's case. This is ASG Riley's case.
Oh, okay.
Very good. All right. Madam Riley, if you and I can speak at some point at your convenience, please.
Yes.
Okay, so are we doing a breakout today, or are you going to be speaking to her between now and trial?
Between now and any future calendar, we can speak
Okay.
anytime.
All right, this one is further notice for a jury trial.
I have, yes, Your Honor. I have one matter that is on Your Honor's trial calendar on the Orca calendar, but not on today's calendar. That was handled.
I can't address that right now. I cannot
Understood.
address
Very
that
well, Your
right
Honor.
now.
I'll be released.
Okay,
It was
thank you,
with
sir.
Ms.
Have a
Guthier.
good day.
Understood. Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye.
All right, Mr. Ali, you're free to go as well. I don't know if he's still here. Thank you. Ms. Rockwell, who do you represent? I think Mr. Littlefield?
Yes, Judge, he is in court. We are ready for the negotiated plea. And I have sent the paperwork in.
Okay. And
We
he
just
is
ran out
here
of
and ready. Littlefield, do you see your attorney on the screen, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and are you ready to take your plea?
Yes.
All right, please take your hands out of the pocket. They get a little nervous,
Sorry.
things like that. Sorry. All right, this is 20 CR 002292F. It's on the Orca C final plea calendar. State of Georgia versus Matthew C. Littlefield, originally accused of DUI, less safe, failure to maintain lane or improper lane change, and reckless driving from March 26, 2019. Mr. Littlefield has been present in court, has been advised of his rights to remain silent, and represented by Ms. Renee Rockwell. This is going to be a negotiated plea hearing, so Mr. Littlefield, may I place you under oath? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth?
Yes.
Your knowledge. Thank you. All right, who's the prosecutor?
That would be ASG Riley.
All right, and Ms. Riley, what are the terms that the state is recommending?
It's 12 months to serve 24 hours, credit for time served 24 hours, the balance on probation, a $500 fine, an alcohol and drug evaluation, any treatment that is recommended, risk reduction course, 40 hours of community service, and attend and complete one victim impact panel.
All right, and the state's going to null cross the remaining two charges?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, the reckless driving would merge.
Okay. Ms. Rockwell, are those the terms to which your client has agreed, and do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
So yes, Judge, so stipulated. And is the court inclined to take the plea?
Yes.
Do you want me to tell you a tiny bit about him? I know in the interest of.
Well, it's a negotiated plea, so unless.
I'm just lightheaded.
Have a seat. Thank you. Okay, you okay?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just lightheaded.
The air conditioning, it kicks in a little later.
The
Like,
lights are great.
I totally understand. Ms. Rockwell, I've just asked your client to have a seat. It is rather warm and intimidating in this courtroom, so.
Judge, just for the record, this has been a client from heaven. He has done everything I've asked him to do. This weekend, he will take his final, take care of his final condition, which will be the risk reduction course. Everything else has been completed. And I request an affidavit of first conviction if he could stick around for that. I did speak with him. His driver's license was confiscated at the time of the stop, so he probably needs to sign an affidavit because he cannot tender it in court.
Okay. So just to clarify, he's done he's ready to pay the $400 fine?
Don't know about that. Are you ready to pay that?
Yes.
I apologize, Your Honor. To perfect the record, it is a $500 fine.
Oh. Okay.
I don't know where this plea sheet came from, but it says 400.
That may have been what ASG Marshall Story, former ASG Marshall Story provided, but that is what I had in the system. So, you know, to honor that, Your Honor, we will do the $400 fine.
It's a $400 fine. And then has he done the alcohol and drug evaluation and any treatment that's required?
He has, Judge. And can I send all that to I'm not sure who I need to send that to.
That would be to probation.
Okay. I'll send it to him because the provider did send me the.
I'm sorry, Ms. Rockwell. The $400 fine will be payable to the court, and that would be at the Treasury. But it'll only happen once we update the case with that information. Okay? The alcohol and drug evaluation, you said, has been done. The risk reduction, you said that he still has to take that, correct?
That's the weekend after, not tomorrow, but next weekend. He's already paid for it and signed up for it and has the spot.
Okay, so has he done the 40 hours of community service?
Yes.
He has done that.
Yes.
Are you feeling better?
Sorry, I'm just lightheaded. I'm just anxious. I'm sorry.
There's nothing to be anxious for. Your attorney's doing a great job. Okay. All right. 40 hours community service. He's done with that. Has he attended and completed the victim impact panel?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the only thing left is the completion of the risk reduction and the payment of the fine, and then I'll grant him the affidavit of first conviction as well.
Thank you, Judge. could he go non-reporting once probation is satisfied that he's done everything?
Any objection from the state?
No objection, being that this is the first offense.
Okay. All right, so it'll be non-reporting upon completion of all the other conditions. Mr. Littlefield, have you consumed any medication or alcohol this morning?
No.
All right, and have you, I know you're not feeling quite you're under the weather, but have you understood everything so far?
Yes.
Okay, and are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes.
And is anyone forcing you or inducing you to take this plea today?
No.
And has it been explained to you that if you take this plea today, you would have to give up your constitutional right to have a trial, to go back to court to confront your accuser, have the chance to examine witnesses, challenge the state's evidence, and have the state try to prove the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes.
And has it been explained to you that pleading guilty to a DUI could have an impact on your driver's license, your driver's record, any professional licenses, any other open cases you may have, and so forth?
Yes.
And are you still willingly and voluntarily entering a plea today?
Yes.
And how do you plead to one count of DUI, let's say?
Guilty.
Your sentence is 12 months, a serve 24 hours. You don't have any more jail time. You'll report to probation next Thursday at before 3 p.m. at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. You will pay a $400 fine, and you have yet to show proof of completion of the risk reduction classes. You have completed your one victim impact panel, the alcohol and drug evaluation, and the 40 hours community service, and you will need to show proof of this completion to your probation officer. I will grant you an affidavit of first conviction, which means that you will have limited driving privileges. After you've completed all the conditions, your probation will be non-reporting. Any questions, Ms. Rockwell?
No, Judge, does he get that affidavit today?
Most likely, yes, but he'll need to wait. I'll let him step outside to cool off or go grab something to eat or drink, so he can come back and get that, okay?
Thank you, Judge. I'll just have him stand down.
And Ms. Rockwell, please reach out to your client and remind him of his probation date next Thursday before 3 p.m. at 132 Mitchell Street.
Very well, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Rockwell. You have a good day.
Thank you.
Mr. Littlefield, you have to remain in the courtroom just to assign the affidavit of first conviction. Well, remain in the courthouse. If you need, you can step out, go grab a drink or whatever it takes to get your blood sugar back up. And we will have the affidavit of first conviction for you, okay? Thank you. Any other private attorneys? Okay. Orca E, as in England, status calendar, Zachary Edelsberger. Zachary Edelsberger. All right. Last note we had was that he was incarcerated in Cherokee County. Miss Riley, is that your case?
Yes, Your Honor. And it has been, actually, that was the calendar before last. It does not appear that he did not receive any further information, or the clerk's office did not receive any further information that he was still in Cherokee County. So the state would renew its request for a bench warrant.
Have you all even reached out to Cherokee County to find out if he's still incarcerated there?
No, Your Honor, we did not receive that information. That information was given to the clerk's office.
Okay. Can you reach out to the Cherokee County Jail and find out this individual? And I will grant you a bench warrant once you confirm to me in writing that you've reached out and verified that he is still incarcerated at Cherokee County.
Your Honor, that was a request from the last calendar it was on. The only access that I have is to what's online, and I don't have records for Cherokee County. So there is
Google it. They're public record. You can find out the Cherokee County jail number. So please send me in writing that you've verified that he's still incarcerated, and he's not incarcerated in Cherokee County, and I'll grant you the bench warrant with a $1,000 surety bond. All right, Who's our litigation manager for this? Is that Mr. Bolton? Miss Younger. Miss Younger, once you get verification from Miss Riley that Mr. Edelsberger is not incarcerated at Cherokee County, then we will grant the bench warrant. Okay, next case on this Orca E status calendar is Joanne Slater. Joanne Slater, is anyone here for that case? That case is reset for motions, April 21st at 9 a.m. Is Mr. Haddad back on the Zoom? Mr. Haddad?
Yes, Judge, I'm sorry, I must have
That's
stepped
okay.
away.
No problem. Orca C status calendar. We were looking into Nakisha Barty. That case was, the state was, we were trying to determine whether this case is subject to an MH evaluation. Do you have any information?
Is she on Zoom?
Nakisha Barty is not present.
She had emailed Ms. Gantz earlier this week saying that she's gonna get on Zoom and that she took.
Hello?
Nakisha Barty, is that you?
Yes, yes.
All right, let's change that iPhone name to Nakisha Barty, B-A-R-T-E-E. Miss
Yes.
Barty, you need to lower the device so we can see your face. We can only see the ceiling. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Your
Who's
Honor,
your attorney? Okay, go ahead, Mr. Haddad.
I'm sorry, Judge. Wanda Gant was her attorney. Ms. Gant left the office last week, so I'm kind of taking over the cases for now. My understanding is Ms. Barty has taken the evaluation. We just don't have the results, or she met with Emory or wherever she was supposed to do it. But I have not received anything, at least I'm assuming the court has not received any feedback from whoever conducted the evaluation, Judge.
I've not received anything. Let me see. The order for the evaluation was on December 16th. It should have been done already. When did you say she went for evaluation?
Ms. Barty, when did you go to your evaluation? When did you get it done?
I believe last month. I can't recall the date. But I did it by Zoom. Yes.
All right, we're going to reset this one last time on the status calendar.
Okay.
And Mr. Haddad, you would need to take steps to actually find out what are the results of the evaluation, if one has already been prepared.
I'll attend to it, Judge.
Thank you. And that would be the Orca C status calendar, and that's going to be at 1:30 p.m. And what date is that? May 5th. Status calendar.
Is
This
it on a
final
Friday?
reset. This is a final reset to a status calendar.
Thank you, Judge.
5th, 1:30 p.m. Mr. Barty, your next Zoom calendar is May 5th at 1:30 p.m. You must appear on Zoom in time, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Your Honor.
And Ms. Gant is no longer your attorney. It's Mr. Haddad. Do you see him on the screen?
I see him, but I don't have his phone number, his information.
I'll reach out to her. I'll reach out to you, Ms. Barty.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, bye-bye. I'm free to go?
Yes, Ms. Barty, have a great weekend. Take care.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, moving on to the Orca E, as in England, final plea calendar. Gregory Bankston, Mr. Gaither?
Yes, Judge. Good morning. Mr. Bankston is present.
All right, excellent.
So what I will do, Judge, is that I will first let the court know that we're not in a position to accept the state's offer at this time. And so procedurally, I guess we would just have to go to a jury trial calendar. However, now with that being said, I'm in a position where I'm still taking a position as last time when we first argued this or made this aware to the court's attention, that this case involves, Mr. Bankston has a third case. It is 20 CR 000-253E. That case was transferred to the district attorney's office under DA number 21DA 04896.
I'm sorry, give me that number again.
21DA 04896. And I was told that that case has the same complaining witness or the same victim as in one of the cases that is before you today. So my position is that the state either needs to indict that case, dismiss it, send it back, or send these two cases transferred to that felony case, because I'm in an awkward position of not being able to advise my client. I'm severely prejudiced. If I was a private attorney, I could just simply say, we can move forward. I could say, you know what, you paid me for these two cases, let's handle these two. But I'm not. I'm a public defender, and so I have to protect my entire class of individuals, and I know that he has a pending case with the same victim. One is a felony, one is here as a misdemeanor that potentially could be felonies. Don't even know how to advise him. He's even in our conversations, he asks me questions I don't have answers to because I don't know what the status of the other case is. And the reason why this is all important, I'll be quiet on this. The state was using that third case as a basis for their enhanced punishment for their offer in these two cases. And so when you do that, you put me at a loss because I have nothing to talk about, nothing to even combat, or nothing to even challenge because I don't have that third case in my possession.
Your Honor, Mr. Gaither just reached out to me via email, and I explained to him we cannot ask the district attorney's office to take a misdemeanor case, being that it is the same victim. That doesn't rise to the level of it being transferred, and they won't accept and prosecute a misdemeanor, just because we ask and there's the same victim. The global resolution is for the two misdemeanor cases that he has in state court. It is not us using his felony arrest in our sentencing or in our recommendation for sentence. It's for both cases. I gave a global resolution to resolve both of his misdemeanor cases.
Your Honor, I think the point is still being missed. The case that is now in the DA's office initially came in as a misdemeanor. It was the solicitor's office.
I understand.
Yeah, that sent it there.
Has that case been, it's got a DA number.
And it has not been, well, I have not found an indictment as of yesterday.
Have you inquired of the DA's office?
I already know. I used to work there. I already know what's going to happen.
Okay.
That's around. I wouldn't get any answers this fast.
All right. And as far as you know, he's got the two cases, 20 CR 004471E, battery, simple battery from August 30th, 2020.
Correct.
And this also position 121 CR 003744E.
Correct.
Simple battery, domestic violence in July 2021. And then, of course, you've got that other case, 20 CR 00025, is it 253E?
I believe that's correct.
Because I can't find
Unless I
either
wrote
one.
it down wrong. I may have written it down wrong, incorrectly. I'm almost certain.
It's 21 CR.
Oh, it's 21 CR?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And please understand, I'm not trying to be difficult, but this is just one of those situations where, again, if this was a drug case where I had a client that had 3 different drug cases pending in front of 3 different judges, it's my job to try to bring them all together. So I'm doing the same thing here. Now, and what makes this a little more difficult is the new law that makes the enhanced sentencing or treatment of a family violence battery from a misdemeanor to a felony if it's a second offense. And now we know that one of the persons is the same person in the DA's office and the same person here. So that puts me in a conundrum here. Especially when you have the state, even though I know it's a global resolution, but as a part of the global resolution, they're using the third case and the facts of the third case as in the DA's office as consideration or as a basis for the enhanced punishment. They want them to do 30 days in jail.
And they only transferred the 253E.
Exactly.
On June 2021. Okay. All right. What's the state's position on moving forward with the 2 remainder cases in state court?
The state's position remains the same, Your Honor. We've offered a global resolution to resolve both cases. And so if that is not what counsel would like to do, we'd be prepared to go to trial.
Okay. Mr. Gaither, I don't envy your position. You've got a tough call over here. Position 1 and 2 are going to be scheduled for a jury trial.
Jury trial.
We're going to issue case management orders for both cases. And hopefully you'll be able to reach out to the 21 CR 000253E case. That case was from 2019.
Okay.
Position 1 is from position 2 is from 2020. Position 1 is from 2021. Okay. So these are all clearly 3 separate cases from 3 separate incidences. I don't know which ones involve the same or different victims, but the enhanced penalty is just the nature of the law.
Sure, understood.
But you and Mr. Bankston are to be prepared to go to trial in positions 1 and 2 as duly scheduled.
Will do. Thanks, Judge. I just want to make sure everything was in the open and on the table.
Right.
We'll move forward accordingly.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Bankston. You can reach out to your attorney for further counsel, but both these cases are going to be scheduled for trial. Thank you. Christopher Coleman, position number 3, Ms. Helen.
Yes, Your Honor, that is my case, Mr. Coleman.
He's present. That's good.
And so, Your Honor, I've requested the videos. I've received them. Thank you, ASG Riley. She did share those with me. We have reviewed those, Judge. I do want to be set on a motion calendar. We are headed towards a jury trial for Mr. Coleman's case. Yes.
When did you get the videos?
Let me check my email, Judge.
They were sent February 3rd, 2023.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to schedule this for a jury trial. I'm going to generate a case management order. In the meantime, we will reset it for motions, and the motions calendar is April 21st, May 19th, 9 a.m., 1:30, 9 a.m., 9 a.m. Excellent. Thank you. So it's going to be, who's Ms. Helen?
Right here, Judge.
Oh, okay, sorry. So it's May 19th for motions, but it is going to be scheduled in the trial calendar. If the motions is dispositive of your client's case, and I mean, in favor of your client's case, then it will be removed from the jury trial calendar. All right?
Understood, Judge.
Okay, thank you.
And Your Honor, that was May 19th at 9 a.m. or 1:30?
9 a.m., 9 a.m.
Thank you.
But it's also going to be placed on the jury trial calendar.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Position 5, Rashad Hunter. Rashad Hunter. Rashad Hunter? Not in the courtroom. Rashad Hunter?
He is there.
He's, all right. He'll be back ASAP. Jolene Lukes, Lukes.
That is my case.
All right, thank you. And that's Ms. Helen's case?
Yes, Judge.
All right, have you received all your evidence by February 14th?
Not by the 14th. So we are going to move for the case to be dismissed by order of the court. We didn't receive it by the 14th. It was a supplemental discovery that was filed, which included the CAD report that was already served, I believe, in a January 23rd. I don't have Odyssey in front of me right now. Discovery packet.
Oh, you might be closer to the mic, sorry. Okay. All right, there's a motion to dismiss. Who's the prosecutor? Ms. Riley?
That would be me for ASG Gilead, but under what legal authority would there be a motion to dismiss? This is not on a trial calendar, and we still have time to give discovery.
Well, the legal authority that we were in court, again, I don't have that date, by order of the court, I believe it was Judge Jesse Law that stated if we didn't receive that discovery by February 14th, that she would be dismissing the case. So that's why I'm moving for that.
Okay, but under what legal authority, even because at that time it was scheduled for a final plea calendar, it still was not placed on a jury trial calendar. And Judge Law has indicated even earlier today that we have until a jury trial calendar is scheduled to give all discovery. So we are still investigating. You did receive it. It was after the 14th. But what legal authority is there to dismiss this case and it still hasn't been placed on a jury trial calendar?
Here's authority. It was the court order.
And under what legal authority?
The court exercised its discretion, finding that the state was dragging its feet on discovery. So the court issued an order in open court that the state was required to comply with that deadline. So, Ms. Riley, that's your authority. Next response to the motion to dismiss?
That the discovery has been given. And so to dismiss a case because it was not on a jury trial calendar, but was not given by the 14th, I have not still, even by order of the court, been able to find any legal authority that gives the court that authority to do that. And so if the case is dismissed, we would just ask for a certificate of immediate appellate review.
Ms. Helen, what's your response?
Judge, our response to that, me and Ms. Lukes.
Did you receive the?
We did, Judge.
Did
We
you
did.
review it?
We did, both of us.
What would you do with it if it was timely filed?
Judge, I would ask for it to be on a motions calendar because we moved for it to be dismissed then too. We do have some specified motions for that calendar. And if your honor is not moving to dismiss it, we would ask for that motions calendar because we're going to move to dismiss then.
The evidence that was provided, was there anything exculpatory that you could deem to be found?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, Your
Then
Honor.
it's going to be scheduled on the motions calendar, and that would be on May 19th.
And Your Honor, I believe that's at 9 a.m.
9 a.m. And this is a motions calendar, so I'm assuming that the state needs to subpoena whoever their officers are and so forth. If there are any conflicts with officers or any conflicts with defense counsel, we expect to get those notices at least 5 days before the hearing, excluding weekends, so that we can have it removed. But you're not going to give it to me at the day before. Understood?
Understood, Judge.
Unless there's an imminent medical situation. But otherwise, no, at least 5 business days before the hearing date.
Understood, Judge.
Done with these last minute resets. Okay. Any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right. See y'all for the motions calendar, May 19th.
Thank you so much, Judge.
Rashad Hunter, have we addressed that? Okay. Mr. Hunter, who's your attorney?
I had one thing with life, but I don't.
It's PD Raffoff, Your Honor.
Mr. Raffoff, did he ask for I just saw him this morning. Mr. Gaither, Miss Helen, do you know if somebody else is covering this for Mr. Rocco?
Judge, I'm in the office. Let me see if he's here.
He's here. I ran into him in the hallway.
All right, let me try and track him down. I'll text him.
Have a seat right there, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Desmond McLeod. Position 7.
When your name is called, guys, go to the podium when the mic is, okay? Thank you so much.
Your Honor.
Yes, you're free to go. Thank you, Ms. Shirley. All right, Mr. McLeod, your attorney is Christopher Campbell.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Campbell's on Zoom.
Can't see him on Zoom.
All right. Miss Riley, have you all submitted all the required evidence by February 14th?
Your Honor, the videos have been requested first on January 6th, February 1st, as well as February 22nd. As explained earlier, the actual agencies have to give us access and upload them to the system. And ASG's last communication to me was that we were still trying to obtain the video.
All right. Mr. McLeod, were no discussions with your attorney? Did you want a bench trial, a trial before a judge or before a jury, or have you had that discussion?
I'm not able to have that. Well, I haven't had that discussion with my attorney yet, Your Honor. Is it possible if I contact him, please? Because he didn't tell me if he was gonna come today in person or appear on the Zoom.
How did you know about this date?
Oh, I got the letter.
Did you talk to your attorney before you got the letter? I mean, after you got the letter?
No, I did not, Your Honor.
So you showed up and assumed that he would show up?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, go talk to him and let me know where he is.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Littlefield still in the courtroom? Okay. All right. Mr. Rousey, yes, I still have you on a breakout with Miss Riley, so hopefully you'll be there very soon.
Okay, thank you.
Orca C, chocolate calendar, position 3, Saron Davis. Saron Davis.
Oh, good morning, Judge. That is my case. Mr.
Okay.
Saron Davis is present.
I'll be ready to move
I would be
forward.
more than happy to have a pretrial with the state. This is one of, I think this was formerly Miss Marshall Story's case, and so
Okay,
I just need to talk to the state about it.
all right, Mr. Davis, if you want to have a seat back in the gallery, your attorney needs to speak to Miss Riley, so this will be a breakout with Miss Riley.
Your Honor, you can also, I'm available to go into some of the breakout rooms as well to discuss some of these cases with defense
Which one do
counsel.
you want to discuss?
Or if Mr. Gaither is in person and Ms. Waldrop's in person, then it might be easier for those two to discuss in person, but I can discuss in a breakout room with any other private lawyers who are on Zoom.
Ms.
or
Walker,
public.
would you be able to confer with Mr. Gaither on this one?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, there you go, Mr. Gaither.
Okay.
You can see that right next to you all this while.
Thank you.
I
All
would
right.
put on the record for Mr. Davis, Mr. Gaither, the body worn camera was sent. I know you said you had issues accessing it. I'm not sure what happened there, but I sent it the same way I send all of them. So
I understand. And I'll tell you what's going on. So all of the other videos you sent, I've received, and it gives me a link and I can click on the video. For whatever reason, this one was sent. It made me sign up for the account, which was no problem. It was no fee for me. But then when I I forgot the link, I guess the shared videos or whatever, shared evidence, his isn't listed in there. So I don't know what, it may be a techie glitch again, that pesky glitch again.
Resend it and check and see, Ms. Riley, if they are all working before you resend it. Thank you. Position 6, Augustine Montoya, Ms. Helen.
Yes, Judge, that's my case. Mr. Montoya is present here in court.
Okay.
We received the videos. We reviewed the videos, Judge. We'd like to be set to that motions calendar, Judge, and we are headed towards a jury trial for Mr. Montoya's case.
Okay. Mr. Montoya, did you want to speak to your attorney?
No.
Do you need, guys need to talk before I make a decision to put on the jury trial calendar? All right, Mr. Montoya needs to confer with Ms. Helen, so we're gonna put a hold on that, and then you give me your final decision.
Thank you, Judge.
Michael Perkins, Miss Helen? Okay, hold for my, is he here? He's here, present. Position 10, Lamanicia Simmons. Ms. Simmons is present. Ms. Simmons, please come forward all the way to the podium.
So if you do.
Ms. McCutcheon, do you want to be in,
Ms. McCutcheon, if you could handle the case with Attorney Rousey for me, please, because that
Okay.
actually is Ms. Givier.
I can do that, yes. Which calendar was that, Ms. Riley?
That is.
No worries, I'll find it. I'll go into a breakout room with Mr. Rousey.
Thank you. I'm sorry, it is the.
it's on the Orca
final-
E, final
final
plea
plea.
calendar, position number 8.
All right, thank you.
Mhm. All right, Miss Simmons, who's your attorney?
Mr. Ruffo.
Who?
Ruffo.
Mr. Ruffo, okay. Mr. Haddad, any update from Mr. Ruffo?
No, Judge, I did text him in a second. I'm actually gonna walk over to his office, see if he's actually here. But I'll if I can step away for just a minute, Judge.
All right. Well, Ms. Simmons, your attorney is MIA right now until he shows up or something, and then I can address your case.
Okay, see right here.
I'm going to let the deputy see where you need to sit down. Patricia West, Miss Helen?
Your Honor, I apologize. If we could go back briefly to position 10, Ms. Simmons, I am not showing an entry from anyone in the public defender's office on her case.
Who is that?
Ms. Simmons, position 10. She said her attorney was Mr. Raffoff, but I don't see an entry of appearance from the public defender's office at all for her case.
Let me see.
She has been a failure to appear.
Did Mr. Ruffo personally speak to you and confirm that the public defender's office is representing you?
Yes, the last time I was.
All right. Right now, she's in the courtroom and we will find out exactly what transpired because your attorney did not file a document saying that you are represented. All right. Or if you can reach him, you need to step outside and use your phone. Otherwise, the deputy will confiscate your phone. Do you need to call him? Go step outside. Patricia West.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, there she
Here.
is. All right. And Miss Helen, she went outside to talk to that other gentleman. She needs to come back in. She can go talk to him later.
Got it. Want me to get it? I get it.
All right, we're gonna hold on Miss Helen for Patricia West. Miss West, if you have to proceed until your attorney comes back, let me know how she wants to proceed. Damien Williams. Damien Williams. This is Mr. Derek Howard's case.
Come to the podium. Thank you. And if you don't mind, take your hands up.
Yeah. Damien Williams. Okay, he's at the court. Mr. Gaither, this is Damien Williams. He's represented by Derek Howard. Do you know anything about that?
Oh, that was another case that was being transferred.
Yeah, that's interesting to me, as I thought that Mr. Rothoff, Judge, as you had instructed me to, was supposed to be my counsel. You had told me to send him an email as well as my phone number, and he never got back to me. Mr. Gaff, I believe you even intersected and said that you would send information to him as well during that time, and I remember.
Yeah.
So no one has ever contacted me as counsel, and I haven't spoken with anyone, ma'am.
You filled out an application already to see with the public defender's office?
I believe so.
I believe all that's taken care of. If he could just have a seat as well. We have Mr. Haddad, who's actually our supervisor. He's looking for Mr. Rothball. Because I mean, this is unlike him not to appear. So now I'm just getting a little worried about hoping something didn't happen.
All right, have a seat, sir. I can't do anything until we have the attorneys let us know. Miss Helen, we have Patricia West. Miss West, if you'd like to stand with your attorney, please. Position 11, what's the, are y'all ready for a final plea?
Judge, we're announcing a pretrial. I do believe we'll work that out today.
For Miss West?
Yes, if that is Miss Waldrop or Wiley, because I believe it was ASG, Githia, that was originally assigned to that case.
Okay, so Miss West, your attorney is going to confer with the solicitor and see if they can work out your case. Have a seat until your attorney releases you.
Yes, ma'am.
And Miss Helen, you have one other case to announce on. Mr. Michael Perkins, who is, where is he? Okay, you have a, yeah. What's your announcement?
That is also going to be a pretrial today.
Okay, have a seat there, Mr. Perkins.
Yeah.
Okay, you need to wait until your attorney confers with the prosecutor to see if they can resolve the case.
And I do believe that was ASG Githia. I'll just double check again.
All right.
Yes, that is her case. So if he's in the courtroom, it would be Ms. Waldrop you would be pre-trying with.
Okay, and so Mr. Rousey is talking with Ms. McCutcheon. Is there anyone else on the screen whose name has not been called?
Mr. Wang.
Mr. Wang is Attorney Rousey, and he's speaking to Ms. McCutcheon in the breakout.
Correct.
Anyone else?
Your Honor, may I make one announcement or inquire about one case while I stepped away? And this is on position, the Orca C status conference, position number 2, and I may have been away when the case was called. Alonte Waters.
Alonte Waters is
SAP.
is rescheduled to March 7 SAP
Okay,
because.
perfect. Yes,
Okay.
yeah, I just want to make sure that that the court was aware, so.
Okay. Which was the case? Okay, here we go. Position number 1 on the Orca E status calendar. This was Zachary Edelsberger. I just got this letter from the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office and from in Canton, Georgia. And Zachary Edelsberger is still detained at the Adult Detention Center, has been there since May 20th, 2022. So his case is going to continue to be reset. The request for a bench warrant is denied. And we'll reset it to the May 19th. May 5th. Okay, May 5th status calendar at 1:30 p.m. And can we file this in this case, please? Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, so that's that. All right, folks, it looks like everyone is talking. Mr. Haddad, any updates on Mr. Russell?
No, Judge, I sent him a text. I stopped by his office. He's not there. I'm assuming he's still at the courthouse. I'll shoot him an email and I'll say, I don't know where he is right now.
Before I let you go, Ms. Simmons, did you reach him? All right.
I'll call him, Judge, as well.
All right.
I'll be here, Judge.
All right, thank you. All 3 of you are with Mr. Russell?
Yes.
All right, I don't know what to tell you. Your attorney is in the building in the center because I personally ran into him on my way to the courtroom. So I have no idea whether he's stuck in another courtroom in the middle of a hearing. And as soon as he gets out, hopefully Mr. Haddad will reach him and I can give you an update on your case file. All right, so
Your Honor, I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, for position 5, Orca E final plea, Rashad Hunter, who is represented by Mr. Rafoff, I believe the Motorola person or the person on Zoom indicated as Motorola Moto G5.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I don't know how to change it.
Is the victim in that case? I would like to speak with her in a breakout room while we're waiting on Mr. Rafoff.
all right, Mr. Glanville, if you could please place, I'm so sorry, I don't know what her name is, so I'm just gonna call her Miss Motorola right now, because that's what's Isaiah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Kizia and Ms. Denise Riley in the breakout room, please. Thank you.
Doing it now.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Gaither, do you have anything else to update us with?
I've spoken to the prosecutor. She needs to take a look at the file, Judge.
Okay,
and
so
then-
no updates yet.
No updates yet.
Mr. Campbell, has he been reached? Yeah, please come all the way around.
Your Honor, before you begin the next case, respectfully, I've spoken with Mr. Rousey on the Wang case, and I believe Mr. Rousey wants to go into a breakout room with his client. This may possibly be a plea. I'll start working on the plea paperwork. He just needs to discuss the matter with his client.
All right, Mr. Glanville, could you please place Mr. Shouting Wang and Mr. Tom Rousey, counsel, in a breakout room? You will see a message on your screen to join a breakout.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, we'll be in recess until I get an update on any of our cases. Thank you. Get back on the record. This is Orca E final plea calendar, Mr. Desmond McLeod. We were trying to find out where his attorney, Christopher Campbell, is. He has not been able to get in touch with him. Christopher Campbell is still not on the Zoom. Yes,
Sorry,
sir.
Your Honor. I apologize as well that I just spoken to his receptionist and they said that he's right now in another hearing, but he'll be making his here in person as soon as possible.
In person?
Yeah,
Okay, have a seat and we'll wait for him.
thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
ASG Waldrop, are you able to hear me? Do you need anything from me regarding position 3 on Orca C final plea? I don't know if I can chat with you. That is the pretrial with Mr. Gaither.
You would need to call her or email her because otherwise everything will be in open court.
I understand. I'm just asking if she had access to the chat feature.
Can you hear her, Ms.
I
Riley?
cannot. No, I cannot.
So I don't have access to the link right now, but I'll pull it up and then I'll be able to send you a chat.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Riley?
Yes. No. Did someone call ASG Riley or Ms. Riley? I'm not sure who that was.
Ms. Bolton did.
Oh, okay. Yes, Ms. Bolton.
Are you doing the Littlefield case? Was it, or were you the AG for Matthew Littlefield and Rockwell?
Yes.
Are you gonna send over, can you send over the MP for an account?
Yes, I will send the no process.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Question clarity. Ms. Riley, on Matthew Littlefield, just want to clarify, is the state going to null cross the reckless driving? I thought you indicated it was going to be merged.
I did indicate that it was a merger, Your Honor.
Okay,
I was
so I'm
just
going
being
to just
particular.
cross out reckless driving from the proposed null cross.
Thank you.
Okay.
Madam Litigation Managers, to whom would I submit plea paperwork for the Orca E final plea?
Ms. Younger,
Ms. Younger, all right, thank you, Judge.
thank you. Valencia Younger.
Thank you.
It is 10:50 or 11 a.m. We'll be in a 10-minute recess until 11:10 a.m. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Rousey, I was in a 10-minute recess, but are you ready to proceed with your case?
Yes, Judge, we spoke, I spoke with my client. The state's made an offer that he's inclined to accept. However, we would ask that we possibly get set on a motions calendar for the sole purpose, really, to be candid, is to confer with Immigration Counsel as to the potential impact. I do believe we've minimized as much as we can any impact to his immigration status with the plea offer that the state is willing to make. I just can't answer my client's concerns as to how it impacts his green card that currently is good through 2029. I asked Ms. McCutcheon if she was inclined to or opposed to anything. She said she's not opposed to a continuance, but I understand the court's frustration with the time and wanting to get this resolved. But with Mr. Wang's family and livelihood, I want to make sure he makes the right decision.
Case is reset to the May 5th status calendar. Oh, excuse me, final plea calendar. Is it May 5th or April 7th? This is Orca E. April 7th, actually, not May 5th, April 7th.
All right.
That should give you enough time. Yes.
That should give us plenty of time, Judge, and I expect we'll be ready to enter a plea at that point in time.
And Your Honor, I'll just make the court aware that I did send the plea paperwork. Mr. Rousey, keep that same plea paperwork. The
I will.
offer is state's not opposed to a no contest, 11 months probation, 40 hours community service, family violence intervention counseling, and no contact with Serena, the victim, Serena Wang. And also the parenting class component of the FVIP.
Correct. And
Check with your outside counsel with
I will, Your
regards
Honor.
to the attachment of FV to a disposition.
Thank you, Judge. You have
All
a
right.
great weekend. May we be
Yes.
excused?
Yes, April 7th, 9 a.m. final plea. Y'all have
All
a
right.
great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you too. Bye-bye. Thanks, Ms. McCutcheon.
Okay. Does anybody have anything to announce since I'm back from recess? Ms. Helen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you have positions 7 and 11 from my
Final plea.
Orca C calendar.
Orca C.
Okay,
Yes, Judge, I have some announcement here.
and position 6 also?
Yes, Judge.
Montoya. Yeah.
Yes, Judge, the announcement is that we're preparing for a jury trial, but we'd like to be put on that motions calendar, Your Honor.
For Mr. Montoya?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I can't remember now. What was the,
Oh, position 6 on the.
no, I meant the reset date. Motions calendar?
I thought it was May 19th at 9 a.m.
Yeah, May 19th at 9 a.m. Motions calendar. We will generate a case management order for a jury trial date as well. So this case is going to be reset for a jury trial. A case management order will issue. This is position 6 on the Orca C final plea calendar, State versus Augustine Montoya. In the meantime, we will also schedule it on the May 19th motions calendar. And if the motions are dispositive in favor of the defendant, then we'll remove it from the jail jury calendar.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Is Mr. Montoya excused?
Yeah, just a minute. Ms. Riley, any questions?
That was my question, Your Honor. I was just wondering if any of these motions were dispositive.
Okay. All right. So that, yes, Mr. Montoya, thank you very much. Don't forget to come back to court on May 19th at 9 a.m. Thank you. Yes. Mr. Montoya, just one second.
I'm sorry.
Okay. That's okay. All right. Your next case, Ms. Helen, is
That's going to be position 11, Ms. West. And I'll also give an announcement for position 7. So
Okay.
7 and 11 will be pleas today. 7 will be a non-negotiated plea, Your
Okay.
Honor, but 11 will be a negotiated plea.
Are you ready with either one of them?
Either one, Judge, I've got the paperwork and.
Miss West? Okay. Let's address Patricia West. And who's going, Miss Waldrop, are you going to handle that, please? Okay.
Excuse me.
Do we have, you have the paperwork, Miss?
I do, Judge.
And Miss Waldrop, you are going to null cross everything but the DUI, let's say?
Which case is that, Your Honor?
Miss West, Patricia West? Oh, just the DUI per se. That's the only thing that's being null crossed?
That is correct.
Okay. All right, this is case position 11 on the Orca C final plea calendar. State versus Patricia Renee West, 21 CR 0000579E. Ms. West was originally accused of driving under the influence of alcohol as safe, DUI per se, possession of an open alcohol container, and failure to obey traffic signs, signals, or markings from March 26, 2019. Ms. West has been advised of her right to remain silent. Her attorney is Ms. Catrice Helen with the Fulton Public Defender's Office. This is going to be a, I think you said a negotiated plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. West, may I place you under oath, please?
Mhm.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. When I ask you some questions later on, you need to speak up a little louder,
Yes,
okay?
ma'am.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Waldrop, what is the recommendation from the state?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant will be pleading to the count of DUI less safe. The state's recommendation on that count is 12 months to serve 24 hours, credit for time served of 1 day, balance probated, to pay a $600 fine, complete 50 hours of community service, have an alcohol and drug evaluation and any treatment deemed necessary, risk reduction, and a victim impact panel. She'll also be pleading to count 3, which is possession of an open alcohol container. State's recommendation is a $200 fine. The failure to obey, that will merge, Your Honor.
And I just have just one question or correction, Judge. I do believe it was a $500 fine. I just want to make sure that's what I discussed with Ms. West.
Yes, I'm sorry, $500 fine.
Okay.
Okay. And Ms. Helen, does your client agree to these terms? And do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue and ID for the DUI less safe and the possession of an open alcohol container?
We do so stipulate, Judge. We ask this court to accept the plea as negotiated. It is a probated sentence. We are asking for the probation fees to be waived, Judge. For the full term, Ms. West is not currently working. She's not currently working, but she is a provider for at least 5 minor children, Judge. So we are asking for those probation fees to be waived.
I will waive the probation fees for the first 6 months, which will include, let me see. Which means that her probation fees are waived up to and including August. Is it 31st or 30th? I don't know. 31st, thank you. August 31st. And if she completes all the conditions by the end of August, then her probation will be non-reporting.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
Otherwise, if they're not completed, you have to start paying probation fees from September 1st onwards.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. West, have you consumed any medication or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood the proceedings so far?
Yes.
Are you satisfied with the legal services you've received?
Yes, ma'am.
And is anyone forcing you or inducing you to take this plea today?
No.
Has it been explained to you that if you decide to plead guilty to the charges brought against you, that you would have to give up your right to a trial before a judge or a jury, to have representation of counsel to go back to court, challenge the state's evidence, examine witnesses, confront your accuser, and have the state try to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes.
And has it been explained to you that entering such a plea could have an impact upon your driver's record, your license status, any open cases you may have, as well as your residency if it's applicable?
Yes.
And are you still entering a plea freely, willingly, and voluntarily?
Yes.
How do you plead to one count of DUI less safe and one count of possession of an open alcohol container?
Guilty.
Repeat.
Guilty.
Your sentence is on the DUI, 12 months to serve 24 hours, credit for time served 24 hours. There's no jail time, additional jail time required. You will report to probation next Thursday at 132 Mitchell Street at downtown Atlanta before 3 p.m.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? You'll remain in the courtroom to fill out the probation paperwork. When you report to probation, you will need to, for this particular DUI charge, you will have to pay a $500 fine, complete 50 hours of voluntary community service at any nonprofit agency. The supervisor will have to provide a letter which you submit to your probation officer, indicating that you've completed at least 50 hours.
Yes, ma'am.
You will submit a alcohol and drug evaluation to a qualified healthcare provider and submit yourself to any treatment at your expense. Complete a risk reduction program and attend one victim impact panel. If you complete all these conditions by the end of August 31st, your probation will be non-reporting. Otherwise, you will start paying probation fees from September 1st onwards. With regards to the possession of an open alcohol container, your fine is $200. And that would be in addition to the $500 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, please stay to fill out the probation information, then you're free to go.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, I've already filled out that probation sheet. Should I just email it to Ms. Bolton?
If you promise to email it to Ms. Bolton, yes, then it's fine. The DUI per se is null pros and the failure to obey traffic signs merges. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
And as soon as I get the plea paperwork, I can.
Understood.
You have it?
We're right here.
Okay. All right. Recess is now officially over, and we're going to take a plea with Mr. Perkins next. Yes. All right. As soon as you're ready, Ms. Helen, we'll do that. In the meantime, Mr. Haddad.
Yes, Judge, I assume Mr. Raffoff is not in the courtroom, correct?
That's the correct assumption.
He's not in the office, Judge. His stuff is still here. He may be in court. I just don't know which courtroom he's in. I just don't know what else to say. He's not responded to my call or email. I can only assume he's in court in one of the courtrooms. It might be Superior Court. I just don't know, Judge.
Y'all are not privy to your attorney's calendars?
We do. There's just too many. He would be. I mean, there's one courtroom in particular that he may be. And I'll reach out to the other attorneys assigned to that courtroom, see if he's there. And I'll do that now, Judge.
All right, thank you. Mr. Gaither, on position 3, Ms. Davis.
That
Davis.
That will be a plea, Judge.
All right, are we ready to move forward?
I just need to get him to go over the paperwork.
Okay.
Yeah, just receive the paperwork.
Go ahead and do that now, please.
Okay.
That's your only case left on the calendar.
And if I may, Judge, one of the cases that's on the Orca C final plea calendar number 12, Damien Williams, he's in the back. This is one of Mr. Rothbaugh's cases. I can help as best I can, but I'm looking. Well, so now I'm just asking. So since this is a final plea calendar, and he is charged with the DUI, and he lives in North Carolina, I'm not really I don't know what the status of the case is. Can, is it ready for a plea with the state or?
Let's find out. Who is the prosecutor for Damien Williams, position 12 on the Orca C final plea calendar?
Your Honor, if he's there in person, that is one of ASG, excuse me, Gidea's cases. I'm not sure if ASG Waldrop is available to handle that.
Your Honor, I found it on the calendar. I can certainly speak with Mr. Gaither.
All right. Mr. Gaither?
Okay,
Ms.
I'll
Walker?
talk to him. Let me do this. Let me get Mr. Davis to sign his paperwork, take his plea, then let me talk to you, Ms. Waldrop, okay?
All right.
All right.
All right, Mr. Williams, you're going to be currently represented by Mr. Frank Gaither, who's also with the Fulton County Public Defender's Office. He's going to confer with the prosecutor, and if then he'll speak to you. Okay, I'm not going to say anything more beyond that. Okay. All right, Miss Helen, are we ready to proceed with Mr. Perkins?
And it's going to be a non-negotiated plea, Your Honor.
Understood.
Mr. Perkins?
This is for West. Oh, this is on the Orca C final plea calendar, Perkins number 7.
60.
Randy, can you just make sure I put 2023 and 2022?
No, sad, the older.
And Miss Waldrop, are you behind this one too?
Yes, Judge.
And you have the factual basis that you want to allocute?
Or do we do stipulation or?
Whatever you want to do, it's up to the
Yes, Your
state.
Honor, just a
Okay.
presentation of the case, Your Honor.
Oh,
This is,
let me do the, as soon as Miss Helen gives me the green light, I can.
Yes, Judge.
Oh, we're ready? Okay. All right, this is position 7 on the Orca C final plea calendar, 21 CR 002371E, State versus Michael Perkins. Mr. Perkins was accused of driving under influence of alcohol less safe and failure to report striking a fixed object on October 3rd, 2019. Mr. Perkins, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is Ms. Helen with the Public Defender's Office. We are going to have a non-negotiated plea hearing, which means that the prosecution is going to give me one recommendation if you decide to plead guilty, and your attorney is going to argue for an alternative recommendation. I will let you know which recommendation I will accept before you make the decision. You make the decision with the advice of counsel of whether you still want to proceed with the plea. Okay?
Okay.
All right, Ms. Waldrop, what is the state's recommendation?
yes, Your Honor, the state's recommendation on the count of DUI less safe is 12 months to serve 10 days, credit for time served of 1 day, balance probated, to pay a $900 fine, complete 40 hours of community service, an alcohol and drug evaluation, and any treatment deemed necessary, risk reduction, as well as a victim impact panel. I have tendered a null pros on the failure to report striking a fixed object. Counsel, do you stipulate to a factual basis, venue, and identification for purposes of the plea?
I do so stipulate.
Okay.
Your Honor, just as a basis for the state's recommendation, the defendant had a prior DUI arrest, which resulted in a conviction to reckless driving. And that is from an incident that occurred on September 23rd, 2019. And that is case number 18 CR 009693E.
Anything else?
Nothing further from the
All
state,
right,
Judge.
thank you. I'm just going to take a brief break, and then, Mr. Rothoff, you have a couple of clients who are waiting to speak with you. We have Miss Simmons. She here? Miss Simmons? All right. Mr. Hunter? Mr. Hunter, right there. And let me see. Mr. Williams? All right. Mr. Gaither was going to speak to Mr. Williams, but there are three here right now ready to speak with you.
I apologize to the court. I did not know I had these cases on the calendar. I'm on a calendar in front of Judge McAfee, the new judge on a murder case.
Okay.
Which I have about 20 minutes.
Okay.
I can't talk to everybody. But
I'd like you to start with Ms. Simmons first, because there seems to be a dispute of your representation. And then if you'd like to move on to Mr. Hunter. And I think Mr. Gaither is going to confer with Ms. Waldrop with regards to Mr. Williams. So here's your game plan for 20 minutes. Thank you. Okay. Going back to Mr. Perkins' case, Ms. Helen?
Yes, Judge.
What is the defense's recommendation?
Judge, we agreed to all the conditions. Mr. Perkins agrees to all the conditions other than the additional, I believe it's going to be 5 additional days. We're asking for time served. Also, Mr. Perkins is residing in San Antonio, Texas at the moment. He is currently living on SSI as his main income, Judge. So we are asking that he complete those conditions, but through online reporting, that he does the risk reduction course, the ADET, and the victim impact panel. And again, he agrees to the $900 fine. It's just due to his residency now in San Antonio. We are asking again for time served and just online reporting.
This is a second DUI in 5, isn't it?
Yes, Judge.
And it's a mandatory 10-day jail term.
If the
Not
court
discretionary, that's the minimum.
Understood, Judge.
I cannot amend that. It's a second DUI.
that matters.
And Judge, again,
And it'll be 4 days.
understood.
Yes, that's what the state is asking, Your Honor. I believe statutorily, the minimum is,
Was it 10 days? Am I wrong? Or is there something
I thought I
changed
had
between the?
72 hours. It was a second and 10. I had.
Oh, it's second 10, 72 hours.
That's what I had.
Okay, so that's 3 days and he's already served 1 day. So he's got 1 more day to serve.
But Your Honor, we were asking for 10 days. So
I
that's
know.
why it's not negotiable.
I understand,
I'm
Judge.
gonna go with the minimum 72. For some reason, I thought it was 10, but it's,
And again, Judge, he's residing in San Antonio. I do hear the statutory minimum, Judge, but for him to turn
when
himself
does
in.
he have to go back?
When do I go back?
You flying or driving?
No, I'm flying.
When?
Sunday.
Sunday. So if you report to the jail today, you'll be discharged by Saturday night.
All right.
It's a minimum 72 hours.
Okay. The only thing I'm worried about is all the medicine I take.
Understood, sir. But you can come back to Georgia and serve jail time again on another date. You can fly back.
That's what I'm saying. I'll probably do it that way.
All right, you'll have.
I'll set it up that way.
You need to be on a specific date within the next 2 weeks.
Within the next 2 weeks?
Yes, sir. It's jail time. It's not vacation time. This is not an Airbnb situation.
Okay, well, put it 2 weeks out. On a weekend, you said on a weekend, something.
Look.
Weird.
If you turn yourself into the Fulton County Jail today, they will literally book you into intake and you'll be sitting in the intake division. And then they'll process you out. It takes about 24 hours to process you out. You'll be out by midnight Saturday or 1 a.m. Sunday morning.
What time is your flight Sunday?
No, I'm not exactly sure.
Judge, can we hold for a second? I just would like to confirm, Mr. Perkins.
All right, I'll
Yeah.
accept the defense recommendation by 72 hours. I don't know why it was 10 days. Ooh. Okay. All right, we're holding on Mr. Perkins.
Good morning, Judge.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Yes, sir. He has been here since 9 o'clock. I know because I had to walk him to the courtroom.
Yes, so I was up in Cop Superior on a,
Oh, could you go to the microphone because it doesn't pick up on the Zoom.
yeah, there's my officer that's in a conflict. I was up in Cop Superior on a Friday hearing. Your Honor, previously when we were here, we were requesting the body camera videos on Mr. McLeod's case. And Your Honor, you gave the state 10 days to present those videos or you would dismiss the case. And at this point, we still haven't received the body camera videos.
All right, this was another one where all evidence had to be submitted by Valentine's Day. So, Ms. McCutcheon, Ms. Riley, who's in charge for this? This is position 7 on the Orca E final plea calendar. Council has, we were holding for his report and he's present now.
Yes, Your Honor, and as indicated when the case was first called, the videos have been requested both on January 6th, 2023, February 1st, 2023, and again on February 22nd, 2023. As soon as we receive them, they will be uploaded and shared with counsel on evidence.com, which is our normal procedure. But again, because the individual police agency that has the video has not given us access to it and has not uploaded it for us to view, we cannot then share it with counsel. And again, under what legal authority is it that it had to be submitted by February 14th?
The court order. All right, this case is going to be reset to May 19th, and that's going to be a motions calendar. If the video is present at that time, you will have a preview of that. Otherwise, the officer needs to appear and we will move forward at that point. And is your client seeking a jury trial or a bench trial?
Jury trial.
Okay, so I'm also going to generate a case management order, and the case is also going to be scheduled for a jury trial. So if the motions are dispositive in your client's favor, then the jury trial will be moved.
All right.
All right, thank you, Ms. Campbell.
All right.
And this is May 19th, was it 9 a.m., yes? Yeah, all right, thank you. And we need a case management order too. All right, Mr. McCutcheon, you had conferred with Mr. Hunter's, the alleged victim in Mr. Hunter's case, was it?
No, Your Honor, that was ASG Riley.
Oh, I think someone had gone into a breakout with Ms.
Yes, I went into it.
Oh, you did,
Breakout with Ms.
okay.
Love,
And-
yes,
All right, and this was with defendant Hunter?
correct. We were
Okay,
just
Miss-
waiting on Mr. Raffoff to speak with him.
Okay, all right. Miss Helen, are we ready to proceed? Miss West, are you waiting on something?
Judge, I was gonna get a probation sheet to Ms. Bolton. I think you asked her to wait for me to do that.
Oh,
Probation sheet. Fill out. Yeah, I already have it. I just need to email it.
oh, you needed the paper from, oh, I thought you had a pre-filled one that you
No, I already did.
understand.
I just need to email it. I got caught up with Mr. Perkins before I could email it to Ms. Bolton.
No problem. Miss West, you're free to go. Make sure you go to probation next Thursday, 132 Mitchell Street.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mhm.
Thank you.
Mr. Roffoff is conferring with all his cases, so as soon as he gives me an update on the Hunter case, we'll have that moving forward.
So Judge, and again, you.
All right, we're going to resume with Mr. Perkins' case, 21 CR 002-371E. Yes.
So Judge, this is a non-negotiated plea. I think according to his record, he only was convicted of a reckless driving. So the statutory minimum is only for previous DUIs. So we are asking for him to be sentenced under the first, which is, we're asking for, again, time served for the 1 day and for him not to have to do the additional days again.
Ms. Waldrop, I was under the impression it was a prior DUI in 2018 conviction.
It's a prior DUI arrest. It's not a conviction. It was a conviction for reckless driving. And that was
Okay.
on September 23rd of 2019. That was the
Okay.
18 CR case that I provided.
In that case, I'm going to accept the defense's recommendation. This was not a second DUI in 5. This is the first DUI lifetime conviction. So it will be 24 hours, which he has completed, but he will be on probation. I'll allow for telephonic reporting. As it is telephonic reporting, he's going to pay a $900 fine, 40 hours of community service. Oh, I'm so sorry. All the other terms will be the same, except for the 24 hours, right?
Right, Judge.
And Mr. Perkins, do you still want to move forward with the plea now that we've clarified that you've only been, this would be your first conviction for DUI?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in that case, could you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
Thank you. And Ms. Perkins, if you decide to move forward with this plea, Ms. Helen, do you stipulate to the fact, you've already stipulated, I understood, okay. I'm sorry. I just need to refresh my memory about what we had addressed 2 cases ago. All right. Mr. Perkins, have you consumed any medication or alcohol recently?
No.
And have you understood the proceedings now that we've clarified your driver's record?
Yes,
And are you satisfied with your attorney?
I am satisfied.
Okay. And is anyone forcing you or inducing you to take this plea?
No, ma'am.
And I'm allowing for telephonic reporting because you live out of state.
That is correct.
All right, which means that you don't have to report to a probation office.
Okay.
And that's a privilege because you live out of state and I'm not requiring you to fly back every time to report to probation.
Oh, thank you. You are.
But you're going to pay probation fees for the first 6 months.
That is correct.
So in addition to the $900 fine, you're going to be paying probation fees of whatever it was, $45, $50.
Okay.
You also understand that in addition to me making this accommodation, that you have to waive your right to a constitutional trial before a judge or a jury.
That is correct.
You will not be able to confront your accuser, examine witnesses, have the assistance of counsel to confront, to challenge the state's evidence, and have the state try to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of DUI less safe?
Guilty.
The charge of failure to report striking a fixed object is going to be null for us. The sentence is 12 months to serve 24 hours, credit for 24 hours, no additional jail time. You'll be reporting to probation telephonically. You will need to pay a $900 fine plus monthly probation fees for the 6 months to be transmitted to probation. You will complete 40 hours of voluntary community service at any nonprofit agency within your city. And is that in San Antonio?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so the nonprofit agency must be in San Antonio, Texas. And that agency must give a written letter with its letterhead showing that you've completed at least 40 hours of voluntary community service. And it's best if you get it done within the next 6 months.
Yes, ma'am.
You will also submit yourself to an alcohol and drug evaluation at a qualified healthcare provider in San Antonio. And if there is treatment required, you will submit yourself to that treatment at your expense.
Yes.
You will complete a qualified risk reduction program and attend one victim impact panel program. You would need to check with your attorney to see whether the programs that you attend in San Antonio are acceptable to the probation office in Fulton County. So Ms. Helen, you or whoever is responsible for this case needs to keep up with whether those programs are acceptable to Fulton County probation.
Understood, Judge.
Because he's doing it out of state.
Understood.
So there's a lot of communication that must take place. Okay, I don't want, I haven't had a response or it's not been acceptable. So you just need to make sure it's acceptable before you would attend and complete that program. Okay.
Okay.
If you complete all the conditions within the next 6 months, then your probation will be non-reporting.
Oh, that's great.
All right. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Is Mr. Perkins excused?
Oh, you're being good. You are correct. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think you flew. Do you have
I didn't bring any license, but
What happens to your license, sir?
Oh, wait a minute.
You have to
If you have your
surrender
own-
your driver's license in a DUI conviction.
Can I send them to her? Because I need to get an ID. As well, I know I left them in San Antonio, but can I send them to her?
You left your driver's license in San.
Well, I wasn't driving. I'm not driving. I'm not doing any more driving.
How do you show your ID at the airport?
I used my military ID.
No, I need your driver's license. So
Okay.
I need your driver's license.
Okay.
All right. Go
Let me,
for it.
I'm gonna bring them back. I'm gonna wait. Well, thank
Have
you.
it FedEx to us.
Yeah, they may be in my bag though.
Now, look, we'll see. I need it today before you leave for San Antonio.
Okay.
All right. Let me see. Mr. Gaither, you're waiting on the plea from Mr. Davis?
Oh, no, we're ready for the plea of Mr. Davis, Judge.
All right. Why don't you get the paperwork ready? Mr. Rockoff, any announcements to make?
Monica Simmons, I was unsure about that case, that I qualified her. I don't believe I have her found. I think the problem with the case was they had a co-defendant, Cedric Woodrow or Wilson? Cedric Woodrow.
Why didn't we take the?
That we might also represent, so there might be a conflict. I pulled that on and I don't know what happened. So I would ask for a reset so we can figure out whether our office represents her or whether there's a conflict.
So that was never done at the last court date?
I was never notified. I don't.
You were here, you qualified her.
Qualified it, but it did not determine whether we represented the co-defendant or whether it was a conflict.
We'll need another defense attorney from the public defender's office. Mr. Haddad? Who's in charge of the Orca?
I'm sorry, Judge.
No, I cannot let this case go on any longer.
I'm sorry. You.
I need another defense counsel from the public defender's office. There was no entry of appearance. There was no conflict resolution follow-up, and Ms. Simmons has been coming to court over and over again.
And Your Honor, can you give me the case number? I apologize.
This is position 10 on the Orca C final plea calendar, 20 CR 005-459Y. All right, we're going to find out about what's going on. What about Hunter?
I need to pre-try that with the solicitor.
If I may, Mr. Raffoff, I know you have to get to another court. This was just a matter of me speaking with the alleged victim in the case, Ms. Love Smith. I've already spoken with her, so we would be ready to put something on the record.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Ms. Riley. What do you want to put on the record?
I would have to swear Ms. Love Smith in.
All right. What's her name?
Miss
Keila Love Smith.
Keila Love Smith. All right. Ms. Love Smith, please raise your right hand.
Okay.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Riley, what do you want to identify? And Mr. Rockoff and Mr. Hunter, please come to the podium with the microphone. Go ahead, Ms. Riley.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Love Smith, I just have a few questions for you. Do you recall the police being called out or someone calling 911 to your location on December 8th of 2020?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't remember what time it was, what day. The
Okay.
police was there.
And at that time, were injuries to you reported to the police?
No. I had injuries. They asked me why did I have injuries. I had let them know that I went out to the club, and that's why they were out there. And the thing that was on my face was from a staph infection.
So it is your testimony here today that your injuries were not caused by Mr. Rashad Hunter?
Yes.
And how do you know Mr. Rashad Hunter?
I've been to him. He's my high school sweetheart. We've been together since I was 14.
Okay. And are you now legally married to Mr. Rashad Hunter?
Yes, ma'am. We've been married for 2 years.
Thank you, Ms. Love Smith. In Your Honor, based on that testimony, the state would have insufficient evidence to move forward as our accusation is drawn based on Mr. Hunter being responsible for the injuries. reported to Ms. Love Smith. So the state would be moving to null pros the case.
All right. Mr. Hunter, the state's going to null prosecution. In other words, they're going to close the case out and not pursue any additional prosecution. You're free to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And Your Honor, Mr. Perkins's driver's license
Okay, just hand it to Ms. Bolton.
as well as.
All right. All right, Mr. Ruffle, that leaves us with your one other case, which is Mr. Williams. Mr. Gaither, are you doing?
I'll take it over, Judge.
Am I free to go too, Judge? I'm
Yes,
sorry.
Ms. Love Smith, you are. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Mr. Ruffle, Mr. Gaither is going to represent Mr. Williams. So the only issue you've got left is Ms. Simmons.
Your Honor,
Yes, Mr. Haddad.
if Ms. Riley can put the offer on the table, and I don't know if Ms. Simmons has a phone that I can call her, then I can perhaps try and deal with it today.
All right, call Mr. Roffoff and he'll give you her phone number. And Ms. Riley, what's the offer for position 10 on the Orca C final plea calendar?
Your Honor, I can look that up. I'm not sure if Ms. Waldrop has it handy, as this was in person, so.
Your Honor, I do have an offer here. It is for 12 months probation for the defendant to complete a theft prevention class, perform 60 hours of community service, stay away from the location of 2900 Landrum Drive, that is in Atlanta, Georgia, Fulton County.
All right, I'm sorry, Mr. Haddad, I don't know if you heard that. It's 12 months probation, 60 hours of community service, anti-theft class, and stay away from 2900 Landrum Drive.
Yes, Judge, thank you.
All right. So, Mr. Roffoff, other than that, you are free to go back to the Superior Court once you give Mr. Haddad the information.
Talk with Mr. Haddad and Ms. Simmons.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you. All right, Mr. Gaither, I'm sorry, y'all were playing, what's that game? The Marquettes?
No problem, Judge. That's the business that we're in.
Okay. This is number 3 on the Orca C final plea calendar. This is State versus Saron Davis, 21 CR 0000318E. Mr. Davis was originally accused of misdemeanor obstruction of a law enforcement officer and public drunkenness from October 6, 2019. Mr. Davis, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Frank Gaither. This is going to be a negotiated plea hearing. May I place you under oath? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Ms. Waldrop, what is the plea recommendation for Mr. Davis?
Yes, Judge, with respect to the negotiated plea, state is recommending a sentence on public drunkenness of 12 months, credit for time served, balance probated, to perform 30 hours of community service and alcohol and drug evaluation and any treatment deemed necessary, as well as have no violent contact with Ms. Keisha Williams. That is to terminate.
Repeat the name.
Oh, Keisha Williams.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Bolton. Keisha Williams, the officer?
Williams. No, Your Honor, that is the other individual that was present.
In a public drunkenness, you want a no contact?
That is correct, Judge.
It's a no violent contact.
No violent
Violent
contact?
contact.
Okay. Okay.
And that will terminate after 6 months. And Your Honor, on the obstruction charge, the state's recommendation is 12 months credit for time served, balance suspended, or time served.
Okay.
All right, counsel, do you stipulate to a factual basis, venue, and identification for purposes of the plea?
We stipulate to all of that, yes.
All right, I'm so sorry. Yes, Mr. Rocco.
Can we ask Mr. Haddad to call my cell phone?
Mr. Haddad, could you please call Mr. Roffoff's cell phone? That's what he said. Okay. And Mr. Gaither, your client accepts these terms,
Yes, Judge.
including the no violent contact?
Yes,
Okay, and he understands that his probation will terminate after 6 months,
that's correct.
providing that he completes the 30 hours of community service and alcohol drug evaluation and any treatment within that 6 months.
That's correct.
Okay. And you've already stipulated. Mr. Davis, have you consumed any medication or alcohol recently?
Yes,
And even after that consumption, are you still able to understand the proceedings?
yes,
And are you able to understand your attorney today?
yes,
And are you satisfied with his services?
yes,
And has it been explained to you that if you plead guilty to these charges, that you would have to give up your right to go back to court and have a trial? You will not be able to challenge the state's evidence, examine witnesses, confront your accuser, and have the state try to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give those rights up?
yes,
Are you doing so freely, willingly, and knowingly?
yes, I am.
And do you understand that you'll be on probation for 6 months as long as you complete these conditions? But that if you're not completed with the conditions, the probation will continue until they're all completed?
Right,
Is that your understanding?
understand.
Okay. How do you plead to 1 count of public drunkenness and 1 count of obstruction of a law enforcement officer?
Guilty.
On the obstruction charge, your sentence is 12 months, credit for the time you served and the balance suspended. On the public drunkenness is 12 months probation to complete 30 hours of community service at any nonprofit agency and undertake a alcohol and drug evaluation with a qualified healthcare provider and submit yourself to any treatment that's required at your expense. You're also to have no violent contact with Keisha Williams. If you complete the community service and the evaluation plus any treatment within the next 6 months, your probation will terminate. That concludes the sentence. Anything else, Mr. Gaither?
That's it, Judge. Does he have a seat and wait for probation, or does he report the probation?
He'll need to complete the probation information sheet.
We did.
You did?
We did that.
You have it? Okay, then he's free to go. Report to probation next Thursday at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. Next Thursday is March 9th before 3 p.m.
Do you have the address?
I just gave it to you.
All right.
I
didn't know.
Okay.
I got you.
All right, so remain to get the address and then make sure you're there.
Thanks. All right, hey, thanks again.
This one happened. Yeah. It looked like you haven't been 2 days.
Here we go.
72 hours. Remember, like,
The case management orders are here. Oh, these are new ones? No, these are the ones I've signed. Okay. All right, Mr. Rahoff, have you confirmed?
Ms. Simmons, LaMonica Simmons, Mr. Haddad is going to represent her, and he'll make an announcement.
All right. Do you have anything else, then, sir?
That's all I believe I have.
Okay. Good luck with your court. Thank you. Mr. Haddad? Yes, sir. Ms. Simmons, where is she? Come all the way around to this microphone. Not that door, not that door. Just make sure it doesn't. Yeah, thank you.
Because I was gonna ask you.
Mr. Haddad, do you see your client at the podium?
Yes, I do, Judge. Thank you.
All right.
Judge, I don't know what happened before. I'm not sure whether it qualifies, doesn't matter. I'll go ahead and file an entry on this case. Ms. Simmons, we've communicated the recommendation to her. She maintains her innocence, Judge. She wants a jury trial. And it's a straightforward case. So be it, Judge. We'll be ready when the case goes to trial.
Okay, excellent.
I'll make sure to file an entry, Judge, so there won't be any.
And there's no conflict, right?
No, well, there is a co-defendant, Judge, and I can't find that person in In Odyssey, I'm not sure if they were prosecuted. We don't have a file on that person, so.
Well, why
There's-
should that be so hard? Let me see. Orca C final plea calendar.
Same thing.
And I only mentioned this based on the police report, Judge. There's another suspect that was arrested or charged. But I don't know if that person was ever accused. So.
Miss
That's-
McCutcheon, Miss Riley, Miss Waldrop, can y'all confirm that there is no co-defendant case with the state court of Fulton County?
We would just,
Or
is there a name?
Superior Court?
Sure, the last name is Rudrow. That's R. I can put it in the chat. That might be easier.
Thank you.
No, give me the name because I can look it up too.
Sure.
R-O-D.
It's R-U-D as in Delta, R-O-W, Rudrow. And the first name is Cecilia, just the normal spelling of Cecilia, C-E-C-I-L-I-A, Cecilia. Now, the police report in Odyssey references that particular individual, but I did not find anything in Odyssey. I don't know if the state decided not to pursue charges. I'm a little bit unclear. I just don't know. But there's no other defendants that I'm aware of other than Miss Simmons. And we don't have any conflict. So our office will be representing her.
Mr. Haddad, what is the incident date of this case? The incident
So-
case of your client?
January 8th, 2020.
I do see felony charges for Cecilia Rudrow that were created on March 5th of 2020, but I would not be able to see if those, I don't have access to any.
What's
DA.
the case number?
That is
20
20 DA 02359.
And Your Honor, you might, Ms. Riley, it might be easier for the court to look it up under the clerk's case number, Superior Court's number, which is 20 CP 190349. And it shows that it is a closed case, dismissed for want of prosecution, the charges of identity fraud and theft by deception.
What's the incident date of those offenses?
That's March the 4th of 2020, so it is a different incident date. I do not see anything in Odyssey for the incident date that you, for the current charge, Mr. Haddad.
Your Honor, I believe the report, there is a mention of March 4th. It sounds like it's the same case. One of them went to the DA's office and decided not to prosecute, and Ms. Simmons is in on a misdemeanor. So as far as I can tell.
There's no counsel listed for Cecilia Rudrow.
Can I speak?
Sure.
Okay, so Cecilia Rudrow is who actually stayed in the apartment. I helped out with rent, and that's why I was charged with the same thing. I never lived there. I always had my own place in Coweta County. So that's why I don't want to just take a charge for somebody. I didn't even live there. I helped you out on rent a couple times, and that was it. And I was charged with the same thing. So basically, I guess they stole somebody information, was living in an apartment. The apartment came, the person who name it was in came to the apartment. I just want to be able to talk, get these contact numbers to talk, and I can just prove my own case or just give the evidence that I have. I believe the charges probably stuck with me because address changed and I missed court date and just a whole lot of mix up. But if you could just give me a try.
Sure.
Thank you.
I just wanted to make sure that the problem is, Ms. Simmons, is whether the public defender's office can represent you. If they have represented Ms. Rudrow before, they cannot represent you. It's considered a conflict of interest.
So that's why I at least want to talk so we can actually, because I never heard my discovery either. I never heard it from him or anyone. So I just want to kind of read through my discovery and then like maybe we could kind of come to a solution or let me know if they represent her or what's going on.
Mr. Haddad, I don't have any information that the public defender's office has represented Ms. Rudrow.
We have not, Judge. If in the slight chance that we did, it was a first appearance back on March the 5th of 2020. We don't have a file. There's no paperwork, so for my purposes, there's no conflict. We can represent Ms. Simmons. It is, and I guess before at some point I'll reach out to the prosecutor, but it sounds like the other individual was charged with a felony and her case was dismissed, but it is what it is, Judge. We'll discuss, but my client maintains her innocence and, so be it.
So from this point onwards, she is represented by the Public Defender's Office, namely one Mr. Joanne Haddad. There is no conflict issue. This case is going to be, give me a moment.
And Judge, I just want to add, I'm sure Mr. Haddad has looked at this in case manager. Both the March 5th and March 19th dates show that the defendant had jail hearings on those dates. So I don't know if your office would have represented Ms. Woodrow, the co-defendant, for those jail hearings.
I
It
mean,
would have been her felony first appearance.
right.
There was no entry of appearance filed in any of these.
We don't have any paperwork at all in our internally. Whether somebody represented her, effectively, it's really not, it's not a conflict. I mean, I don't know,
Public Defender's Office is on notice. If you want to go through a conflict check within the next 7 days,
Right.
that's fine. But if you find a conflict, you all need to let the clerk's office know ASAP so that a conflict counsel can be appointed.
Well,
But she's going to trial. At the present time, are you filing a waiver of arraignment or would you like?
yes,
them
I
to
am.
arraign-
Yes, I am,
Okay.
Judge. And just so the court is aware, I'm in charge of the conflict within the office and I'm declaring right now. that there's
Lovely.
no conflict.
I love the one-stop shopping thing, so.
Right, so-
Okay, so, Mr. Haddad, you are going to file a waiver of arraignment. A case management order will issue.
And
And this case is going to be further notice for a jury trial.
And Ms.
Or-
Riley, I'm sorry, Judge, I apologize. Who's the signed prosecutor on that case, Ms. Riley?
It will be ASG Giviea.
Okay, I'll obviously serve her and I'll get together with her to discuss any. And I'll talk to my client as well. I'll get the file from contact information from Mr. Raffoff and I'll reach out to her.
Can
Okay.
I leave my
Simmons, you-
information with you? Because I don't even know if he have my information. I've been texting him, calling him.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question. What
I
was your?
said, can I just leave my information, contact information with you guys? Because
Yes.
I've been contacting him since the last court date and I haven't,
If
Is-
Mr. Gaither is still there, is he there?
I don't know if he have my information.
This is
All
what
right.
you're gonna do. You have your case number?
Yes.
Okay, you're gonna go up to the clerk's office and you're going to file an updated address and contact information. You put down your legal name, your address, and your phone number and email.
Okay.
This is information that even the Public Defender's Office can retrieve. Okay?
Okay.
And just 1 second, sir. And your attorney is Mr. Haddad. And your case is going to be scheduled for a jury trial. At which point, if the case goes to trial, depending on what Mr. Haddad has discussions with the prosecutor, then I expect both sides to be present. Everyone's going to appear in the courtroom, including the prosecutor, in person.
Understood.
All right.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No.
You're free to go. Thank you. Oh, you need to give a notice? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Mr. Haddad, I think, and we have one other gentleman in the courtroom. He's waiting on. Okay. What are we, waiting on Mr. Perkins for? For the probation? 132. Oh, you're not in writing. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm just gonna go over the calendars one last time. I think we've addressed all the cases. The Orca C status calendar, Nikisha Barty is reset to May 5th. Status calendar at 1:30 p.m. pending an MH evaluation. Position 2, Alonte Waters is rescheduled SAP March 7, 2023. Orca E status calendar. Edelsberger is reset to May 5th status calendar pending his detention status in Cherokee County. Position 2, Alexander Hill is reset January 20, no, not January. It's reset March 24th at 1:30 p.m. With attorney Josh Schaefer. Position number 3, Joanne Slater is reset for motions April 21st at 9 a.m. Orca A final plea calendar is further notice for a jury trial. A case management order has issued. Orca C final plea calendar. Position 1 is further notice to a jury trial. Case management order to issue. Position.
I apologize, I'm reading, was that E or C?
C is in chocolate. Okay. Position 2, Chavez is further notice to a jury trial calendar with a case management order to issue. In the meantime, is also scheduled on the motions calendar for May 19th at 9 a.m. Position 3, Saron Davis was a plea. Position 4, Fitzpatrick is further notice for a jury trial calendar, case management order to issue. Position 5, Littlefield was a plea. Position 6, Montoya is a further notice for jury trial, case management order to issue. In the meantime, is going to be scheduled on motions for May 19th at 9 a.m. with Ms. Helen. Position 7, Perkins was a plea. Position 8, Pittman Powers, also known as Pittman Smith, is reset to April 21st at 9 a.m. on the motions calendar. Position 9, Portillo Melgar, represented by Mr. Haddad, is required to appear in person on May 5th, 2023 for a status calendar at 1:30 p.m. Position 10, Simmons is going to be represented by Mr. Haddad, and a case management order to issue. Waiver of arraignment will be filed today, and further notice for a jury trial calendar. Position 11, West was a plea. Position 12, Williams, represented by Mr. This is position 12. What do we agree on that one? Mr. Rockoff is going to continue representing him?
I think Mr. Gaither.
Oh, Mr. Gaither, sorry. Is he still talking to Mr. Gaither?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we are still holding on position 12. All right, and the last calendar to sum up is Orca E, final plea calendar. Gregory Bankston is further notice to jury trial, case management order to issue. Position 2, Bankston is for the same announcement. Christopher Coleman is further notice for jury trial, case management order to issue. Meantime, reset to May 19 motions calendar at 9 a.m. Position 4 is further notice for a jury trial, case management order was issued back in January 6, 2023. So we're going to follow the schedule as issued at that time. Position 5, Hunter is null cross. Position 6, Luke is reset to May 19, 9 a.m. motions calendar. Position 7, McLeod is further notice for a jury trial, case management order to issue. Meanwhile, it's also going to be set on motions calendar on May 19th at 9 a.m. Position 8 is reset to the April 7th final plea calendar at 9 a.m. final via Zoom. So the only case that we are holding off on is Mr. Gaither regarding Mr. Williams on the Orca C final plea calendar. And everyone who is not involved in that case is free to go. Otherwise, I'm just waiting on Mr. Gaither to give me a final report on Williams, position 12.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank
I'm
you.
excused.
Yes, Mr. Haddad, have a great weekend.
Thank you, you too. Yeah, he's.
Mr. Gaither, you okay? You still need to talk? Go ahead, go ahead.
Best we can do.
I'm sorry, the things of the traffic behind the emergency.
With whom?
For West.
For West?
Yeah.
West was, focus the final two calendar. I'm sorry. I have a cheat sheet. All right, we're gonna take a plea on the only case remaining on this Orca calendar this morning, and that's gonna be on Mr. Williams as soon as Mr. Gaither is ready to move forward with the plea hearing. So whoever is involved, you should stay. Whoever is not involved, you're free to go. Thank you. Do we still do this on Zoom if everybody's in the courtroom? Do you know, Mr. Gator? Oh, no one knows? Okay. Abundance of caution, let's do it this way. All right, State versus Damien Williams, 21 CR 0000934E. Mr. Williams is present in the courtroom with his attorney, Mr. Frank Gaither. And this is the original accusation in which he was accused of DUI, driving under the influence of alcohol, let's say, possession of an open alcohol container and reckless driving from February 26, 2021. Mr. Williams, you've been advised of the right to remain silent. Your attorney is Mr. Gaither. And this is a negotiated plea, yes?
Yes, Judge.
May I place you under oath, Mr. Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Ms. Waldrop, you're representing the Solicitor General's office. What is the state's recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. With respect to count 1, the DUI, the negotiated plea on that count is for 12 months to serve 72 hours, credit for time served of 2 days in jail, balance probated for the defendant to pay a $1,000 fine, perform 100 hours of community service, an alcohol and drug evaluation and any treatment deemed necessary, risk reduction, as well as a victim impact panel. On the possession of open alcohol container, recommendation is a $200 fine. State has tendered a null cross on the reckless driving count. Counsel, do you stipulate to a factual basis?
We stipulate.
Venue.
Yes, we stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and identity.
Nothing further.
Okay. Is there a mandatory 240 hours of community service?
Yes, Your Honor, those are statutory minimums. However, I believe defense counsel has mitigating information that he'll present to the court. And so we did agree to reduce that to 100 hours of community service and convert the remainder to a fine.
Okay. All right. Mr. Gaither?
Yes, Judge. My client currently lives in North Carolina. He used to live in Georgia. He's married. He's the proud father of a new baby. However, the mother is suffering some hardships right now as a result of the childbirth. His mother is here to support him. She lives here in Georgia. He works full time. And so that's why we were asking for the special consideration of the community service hours. His driver's license has been suspended ever since this incident occurred, which has been almost 3 years. And of course, he can't get a new license anywhere until this is resolved. And it's difficult enough to help take care of the new baby and work full time, but he can do the 100 hours community service. And so that's why he asked could the balance be converted to a higher fine.
Okay.
So we asked the court to accept that.
All right. Mr. Williams, have you consumed any alcohol or prescription medication recently?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood the proceedings so far?
Yes, ma'am, to the full extent.
Are you satisfied with Mr. Gaither?
Absolutely, ma'am.
Is anyone forcing you or inducing you to take this plea today?
No, ma'am, not at all.
All right. You've sat with Mr. Gaither and gone over your waiver of rights.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, just to reiterate, if I accept this plea today, you would have to freely and willingly give up your right to a trial before a judge or a jury, to be able to confront your accuser, examine witnesses, have to challenge the state's evidence, present any defenses if you choose to do so, and also waive your right to have the state prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to waive these rights?
Yes, ma'am, I am at this time.
All right. And this is your second DUI conviction in a lifetime. The state law requires a mandatory 240 hours community service. But given the circumstances of your case, I'm going to allow the reduction to 100 hours of community service.
Thank you.
But not give up on the remainder of the community service, instead convert that to a fine. So which means that you're paying a higher fine. The original fine that the state was seeking was $800.
Correct, Judge.
Right, and so it's now $1,000 to take into consideration the conversion of the remainder of the community service hours.
Yes, I appreciate that, Judge.
Okay. Also, before I accept your plea in this case, you do understand that you have to report to probation in Atlanta the first time, which is either next Wednesday or Thursday.
Yes, ma'am, I'm aware.
All right. And then after that, I will allow telephonic reporting. I'm going to waive your probation fees for the year,
Thank you.
but you will be subject to random screens for drugs and or alcohol, which may be summoned of you by probation from Atlanta anytime. And you would have to be screened either in North Carolina or in Georgia by a qualified screening service. Do you understand that that is a possibility?
Yes, ma'am. I have been screening for the last 3 years as part of my bond. So that is no problem, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of DUI less safe?
Guilty, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of possession of an open container of alcohol?
Guilty.
On the DUI, your sentence is 12 months to serve 72 hours, credit for time served 2 days, so your jail time is concluded.
Thank you.
You'll be placed on probation. You must report to probation for the first visit at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. And that would be either next Wednesday or next Thursday before 3 p.m. So you pick which day you can make it. All right?
It would have to be Thursday, ma'am, if possible, as I need to make arrangements with my job to let them know.
Understood. After that, you'll be allowed telephonic reporting. You will report to telephonically report to probation every month. Your probation fees shall be waived for the year. You are to complete a alcohol and drug evaluation. You can do that in North Carolina as long as it's a qualified healthcare provider. Check with probation before you do the evaluation.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. A risk reduction program, you can do it in either state. Again, check with probation as to the qualifications.
Yes, ma'am.
You will have to attend one victim impact panel. You can do that either in Atlanta or in North Carolina, subject to qualification. And the 100 hours of community service, you can do that in North Carolina or in Georgia at any non-qualified nonprofit agency.
Yes, ma'am.
Your possession of open alcohol container, that's an additional $200 fine. All payments shall be made directly to the probation office in Atlanta.
Yes, ma'am.
You'll be also subject to random screens, as we've already discussed.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else, sir?
That will be it.
Okay, since this is your second conviction, you do not qualify for a first offender affidavit. First offender limited driving privileges. So your license will be suspended pending the conclusion of this case and the sentence in this case.
Do you know how long that could be, ma'am? Because it has already been suspended for
1 year.
We'll talk. I'll talk.
Thank you.
Procedurally, just one question, Judge. His mother did put up the bond in the case. Can she just take a copy of the sentence disposition and go report to the sheriff's department to work out whatever?
Yeah, she needs to get a certified copy or a stamp file copy from the clerk's office,
Okay.
and then go to the bonding company. And what was the,
I
was
think
it a cash bond with the sheriff's department?
How did you put it up? With the sheriff's department?
No, I think it's for the private.
Oh, we'll talk about that.
We talk about that.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk.
Thank
I'll
you.
talk to you about that. Okay.
That concludes this case. Thank you, Mr.
That's it,
Abel.
Judge.
Will
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Be very careful. Second one, you can't afford anymore.
I'm aware. ma'am.
Unless you're just Mr., I don't know, who's the richest person in the world? Not Elon Musk. So. All right, take care, sir.
And Judge, that concludes my business. May I be excused?
Yes, and that concludes court as well. Everyone have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.